My beloved ones, listen to me closely, not with a calculating, anxious mind that has brought you to this very point of exhaustion, but with your deepest, most silent core. You have come here searching for answers about money, about abundance, about the wealth that always seems to sit just beyond your reach. You are tired, you are running, and I am here to tell you to stop. Stop running. Just for this moment, drop the weight of your ambitions, drop the heavy bag of your future plans, and simply breathe. Money has never been the problem. The world is overflowing with it, just as the universe is overflowing with stars. The problem is your relationship with it. You chase it with fear, and fear by its very nature keeps it running away. You beg it with immense effort, and that effort makes you tense. Tension is the ultimate blockage. Tension blocks everything that wants to flow toward you. Love, joy, peace, and yes, money. Look at where you are right now. You are worried, you are calculating, you are comparing yourself to your neighbor, your colleague, your brother. You are always thinking of money as something outside you, something alien, something to grab and secure before real life can even begin. But look at where you could be. You could be relaxed, trusting, and overflowing with such fullness inside that money comes to you as a shadow, not as a struggle. I am not going to teach you parlor tricks for manifestation, nor am I going to promise you overnight miracles that feed your greed. I am going to do something much more important. I am going to remove the inner poverty that keeps money away from you, even when the grandest opportunity is standing right next to you. Before we dive into the very depths of this mystery, I invite you to make a commitment to yourself. If you feel a resonance with my words, if your soul is tired of the struggle and ready for the flow, subscribe to this channel and walk this path with us. Liking this video is not for the algorithm, it is an energetic signal to the universe that you are ready to receive this truth. And by sharing it, you become a channel for abundance, allowing this light to reach others who are suffocating in the darkness of the hustle. When your mind is obsessed with lack, life can only reflect lack back to you. The universe is a perfect mirror. It does not judge, it only reflects. When your being is relaxed in abundance, life responds in kind. Money follows consciousness, the way shadows follow the body. Think about your shadow. If you try to run after your shadow to catch it, what happens? It runs away at the exact same speed. The faster you run, the faster it runs. You can exhaust your entire life trying to catch your shadow, and you will die empty-handed. But if you turn your back to the shadow and walk toward the light, the shadow has no choice but to follow you. Money is exactly like that. You have been told by society, by your parents, by your schools, that money comes from hard effort, from bloody sacrifice, from endless tension. That is why you exhaust yourself and still feel empty. What you will see here is something completely different. Money comes most easily to those who are not desperate for it. In our time together, I will show you why running after money creates poverty. I will show you why fear blocks receiving, why people who trust life attract more than those who fight it, and why inner richness always without exception becomes outer richness sooner or later. If you listen only with the mind, you will miss the essence. The mind is a beggar. The mind is always in the future or in the past. If you listen with your whole being, if you let these words penetrate your very cells, something will shift. And when that shift happens, money no longer feels like a burden or a hunger. It becomes a natural byproduct of a relaxed, overflowing life. Poverty does not begin in the wallet. This is the greatest misunderstanding. Poverty begins in fear, and fear has a very specific toxic effect on your energy. It contracts you, it narrows your vision, it shrinks your world until you can no longer see what is already near. When fear is present, your eyes are blind to opportunities. You only see threats. You do not notice the open doors. You only notice the risks. Life may be offering you 10 magnificent doors, 10 different ways to enter into abundance. But fear fixes your eyes on the one locked door and convinces you that nothing is possible. This is how lack is created in the invisible realm long before money ever enters the picture. Fear makes you rush. Fear makes you grasp. Fear makes you calculate endlessly. And in this rushing and grasping, your natural intelligence disappears. You may work hard, you may move fast, but you move without clarity. You are like a man running blindfolded in a forest, bumping into trees, thinking that the more he bleeds, the closer he is to the exit. Decisions made in fear are always short-sighted. They solve nothing deeply. They only postpone your discomfort for another day. An anxious mind cannot recognize opportunity because opportunity requires absolute openness. Cooperation avoids you because cooperation needs trust, and a fearful man trusts no one, not even himself. Creativity dries up inside you because creativity needs playfulness, and you have become far too serious about survival. Fear-based action repels help from the universe without you ever knowing why. If this realization is striking a chord within you, I invite you to deepen your connection with this community. Use the join button to become a member of our inner circle. By joining, you support the continuous flow of these teachings, helping us keep the flame of awareness alive in a world consumed by madness. And if a particular insight has just removed a heavy weight from your chest, you can express your gratitude through the Super Thanks feature. This is not about the money, it is about the energy of circulation, about practicing the very generosity that attracts wealth. This is why fear is the real poverty. You could place a vast amount of money into fearful hands, and I tell you, it would slip away. The fearful person would either hoard it until it rots or lose it in foolish, anxious decisions. You could place a golden opportunity into fearful hands and it would be misused. Fear cannot hold abundance because abundance requires space, expansion, and vastness. Fear creates tightness, suffocation, and limits. Think of a dark room. The beautiful furniture is there. The doors are there. The windows to the outside world are there. But because there is no light, you stumble over the furniture. You hurt your knees. You blame the room. You blame fate. You curse your bad luck. But the problem is not the room. The problem is the darkness. Fear is that darkness. When fear dominates your inner world, you stop trusting life, and the moment trust disappears, life stops cooperating. Not as punishment, existence is not a judge. Existence is a lover. It stops cooperating as a reflection. Life mirrors your inner state faithfully. The world responds to how you stand inside yourself. When you stand contracted, the world feels contracted and hostile. When you stand open, the world opens its arms to you. This is not philosophy, this is lived reality. Look at your own life. When have you ever created something beautiful from a state of panic? Fear tells you that you are alone, unsupported, and unsafe. And believing this lie, you act as if it is true. You push, you compete, you step on others, you overwork, and all the while you exhaust your vital life force without moving an inch closer to ease. This is why chasing money from fear always creates more poverty. You are running from an inner state of lack, not toward abundance. And as long as fear is in the driver's seat, money cannot stay with you. It is allergic to fear. But when fear is seen clearly, when you bring the light of awareness into that dark room, something else becomes possible. Effort can relax, intelligence can return, and from there a completely different relationship with money begins. What I am sharing with you now might seem counterintuitive at first, especially if you have been praised your whole life for working harder, pushing more, and sacrificing your happiness. You were taught by a sick society that effort is a virtue, that exhaustion is proof of your worth, that struggle means you are doing something right. But there is a kind of effort that leads nowhere. And most people live inside this futile effort their whole lives without realizing why nothing changes. Effort without awareness is blind movement. It looks active, it makes a lot of noise, but it is deeply unintelligent. It is like spinning your car's wheels in deep mud. The engine roars, the wheels turn at maximum speed, fuel is burned, but there is no forward movement. And the more you press the accelerator, the deeper you sink into the mud. Over effort is actually a signal of profound mistrust. When you do not trust life, you compensate with brute force. You push where gentle listening is needed. You hurry where waiting would reveal the perfect way. You exhaust your body and dull your mind, believing that more effort will eventually break the wall. But walls do not break from force alone. In fact, many walls are not walls at all. They are doors that open only when you stop pushing. When you push a door that opens inward, you are the one keeping it locked. Tension blocks creativity, and this is crucial for you to understand. Creativity is the ultimate source of value in this world. Money follows value. When you are tense, the creative river within you freezes. The mind becomes rigid, repetitive, and safe. You repeat what has already failed because fear does not allow you to experiment. And without creativity, effort becomes mechanical labor with diminishing returns. Hustle replaces intelligence. Instead of seeing clearly, you stay busy. Instead of choosing wisely, you keep moving. Busyness becomes a hiding place, a narcotic. You tell yourself, I am trying, I am doing my best. But deep down in the silent moments before sleep, you feel something is missing. That missing element is awareness. Look at the people around you who are constantly rushing. Look at their faces. They are always tired, always worried, always behind schedule. Even when money comes to them, it comes with anxiety attached. They cannot enjoy it. They cannot trust it. They are already afraid of losing it the moment it arrives. Effort born of anxiety exhausts you without attracting anything. In fact, it repels help. People can feel the tension around you. Opportunities can sense your desperation and they back away. For those of you who want to dive deeper into this practice of relaxing into your creative awareness, we have prepared profound ebooks that detail these methods. You can find the links to our ebooks in the description below. They are tools for your liberation, and I want you to engage with this process right now. Go to the comments and tell me, where in your life are you pushing a door that needs to be pulled? What is the area of your greatest struggle? Putting it into words is the first step of releasing it. Life does not respond to force the way machines do. You cannot bully existence into giving you wealth. Life responds to intelligence, to timing, to sensitivity. Think again of the river. When it is unobstructed, it flows effortlessly. When you build dams out of fear, the water stagnates and rots. Your effort becomes like beating the water with a stick. Instead of simply removing the block, unconscious effort keeps you busy but poor. Conscious action, even when it is small, moves mountains. The difference is not the quantity of work you do. The difference is the quality of awareness you bring to it. If fear blocks money and blind effort exhausts you, then what allows money to flow? This is the most important question. This is where we must go next. This next realization changed everything for me, and it changes everything for anyone who truly understands it. Relaxation is not weakness. You have been taught that to relax is to be lazy, to be vulnerable, to be left behind. I tell you, relaxation is power. Relaxation is the ultimate strength. Only a relaxed being can see clearly. Only a relaxed mind can notice what is available in the present moment. Only a relaxed heart can receive the gifts of existence. When you stop chasing, your eyes open. This is not poetry. This is absolute practical reality. The moment your desperation drops, your perception widens. You start noticing people you were completely blind to. Ideas that were invisible suddenly become obvious. Possibilities that were always present finally enter your awareness. Relaxation sharpens your intuition. Intuition is the whisper of the divine. Intuition cannot speak when the mind is shouting with anxiety. It speaks softly. It guides gently. It does not argue. When you are tense, intuition is drowned out by the noise of your fears. When you are calm, intuition becomes clear, and intuition is life's intelligence moving through you. It knows the shortcuts, it knows the right timing. Calmness attracts collaboration. People feel safe around ease. They trust someone who is not desperate. They open up to someone who is not grabbing at them. Tension pushes people away without you ever realizing it. You walk into a room to make a deal and your desperation is screaming so loudly that no one can hear your proposal. Relaxation invites cooperation naturally. Ease creates magnetism, not the kind of cheap magnetism that manipulates, but the kind of divine magnetism that draws without effort. When you are relaxed, you are present. When you are present, you are truly alive. And aliveness is the most attractive force in the universe. Money is drawn to value, and value is created by presence. Think of floating in the ocean instead of swimming furiously against the current. When you fight the water, you tire quickly and drown. When you relax, the water itself supports you. Life works the exact same way. You were never meant to fight it. You were never meant to conquer existence. You were meant to align with it. Relaxation does not mean sitting on a couch doing nothing. It means acting without inner strain. It means moving without panic. It means trusting your own timing instead of forcing outcomes. When you are relaxed, you choose better. You say no more easily to the wrong things. You wait when waiting is needed. You act when action is right. This deep natural intelligence cannot exist in fear. This is why inner abundance must come first. Without inner abundance, money just creates more anxiety. With inner abundance, money becomes easy. It arrives not as your salvation, but as your support. And when relaxation becomes natural to you, something even deeper begins to grow in the soil of your soul. Trust. And trust opens doors that effort never could. Trust is rare because it is difficult for the conditioned mind. Trust is not a belief in some distant God. It is not hope that tomorrow will be better. Trust means you are no longer fighting life. Trust means you are no longer standing against existence with clenched fists. Trust means you are willing to receive whatever this moment brings. Most people think they trust life, but just watch their bodies. Their shoulders are tight, their breath is shallow, their jaw is clenched. The mind is always planning for disaster. This is not trust. This is fear, pretending to be responsible. Trust removes resistance, and resistance is the real blockage. You do not block money because you do not deserve it. Let me repeat that, because it is essential. You do not block money because you do not deserve it. You block it because you do not allow it. Somewhere deep inside there is tension, a hesitation, a feeling of unworthiness, a subconscious fear that if you receive too much, something will be taken away, that you will be punished for your joy. Trust dissolves this inner barrier. When you trust, you stop interfering, you stop pushing, you stop second guessing every opening life gives you. You allow things to come without immediately asking what will go wrong. Receiving without guilt is one of the hardest lessons you will ever learn. You were taught that receiving too much is dangerous, that ease is suspicious, that struggle is noble. So even when life offers you something beautiful, you hesitate, you feel uncomfortable, you feel you must earn it with pain. Life does not work that way. Trees do not feel guilty for bearing heavy fruit. Rivers do not apologize for flowing abundantly. The sun does not question whether it deserves to shine. Only human beings do this because they were trained to distrust their own existence. Trust opens doors that effort cannot touch. There are dimensions of wealth that do not respond to force. The more you push, the more they stay closed. The moment you step back in trust, they open, opportunities appear, not because you chase them, but because you are finally available to see them. Openness invites synchronicity. Things start aligning without your planning. The right person appears at the perfect time. The right idea comes when you are relaxed enough to hear it. You call this luck. It is not luck, it is not alignment. Think of a door that opens when you stop pushing. Pushing was never required. Pushing was the obstacle. The same is true here. Money does not come because you deserve it. It comes because you are open to it. Trust is courage. It is not passive. It is not lazy. It is the courage to relax in a world that taught you to clench. It is the courage to say, I don't need to fight everything. And when you are open inside, the world responds. Not dramatically, but naturally, quietly, and consistently. And this response from the world prepares the ground for the next great misunderstanding that keeps people poor, even when money finally arrives at their doorstep. What I am about to share is uncomfortable for many of you because it touches a wound that almost everyone carries silently, hidden behind their social masks. You were taught in very subtle and persistent ways that you are not fully worthy. You are conditioned to believe that receiving too much is dangerous, that ease must be justified through pain, and that money and spirituality cannot walk together. The so-called religious people have condemned wealth, and the wealthy have condemned spirituality. This false division has split your soul. Because of this conditioning, even when money comes to you, you unconsciously push it away. Guilt sabotages success more effectively than failure ever could. When you receive something good, listen closely to the voice inside you. A voice asks, "Why me? Why am I so lucky?" And when things go well, another darker voice whispers, "This will not last. Something bad is about to happen to balance this out." You smile on the outside, you accept the check, you take the promotion, but inside there is a deep tension. That tension slowly poisons what you have received. Feeling unworthy closes doors you don't even know exist. Opportunities come close to you, and you hesitate. Support appears, and you doubt its motives. You find reasons to delay, to refuse, to sabotage your own progress, not because you are foolish, but because you are trained, almost hypnotized, to believe that receiving freely is morally wrong. Let us break this hypnosis right now. Receiving is not exploitation. This single misunderstanding has destroyed more abundance on this planet than greed ever did. To receive does not mean to steal, it means to participate in the natural balance of life. Life gives continuously. Just look outside. Trees receive sunlight without guilt. Rivers receive rain without apology. The earth receives seeds and nurtures them without asking for a contract. Only human beings feel guilty for receiving. You are conditioned to believe that suffering is noble, that struggle proves your moral worth, that ease makes you lazy or corrupt. This is a lie. It is a lie that keeps people exhausted and poor while calling it virtue. Ease does not corrupt you. Unconsciousness corrupts you. Awareness makes receiving clean. The balance between giving and receiving is essential. Many of you give too much just to avoid receiving. You hide behind generosity because it feels safer than opening your empty hands to the world. But giving without receiving creates deep resentment in your heart. Receiving without guilt completes the circle. Think of someone offering you a gift with pure love. If you refuse it out of shame, you are not being humble. You are breaking the flow. You are denying the other person the joy of giving. The same is true with existence. When life offers, your task is not to judge. Your task is to receive with immense gratitude. You are allowed to receive. Let this sink in. You are allowed to receive. This simple sentence can undo years of toxic conditioning. You do not need to justify it. You do not need to suffer first. You do not need permission from anyone. If this truth is resonating with the deepest parts of your soul, I invite you to click the join button and become a member of our community. By doing so, you support the continuous flow of these insights. If you feel compelled to share your gratitude for this specific realization, use the Super Thanks feature. It is a beautiful way to practice the art of receiving and giving simultaneously. And please tell me in the comments what is one gift from life that you have hesitated to receive. By sharing, you help others heal their own wounds of unworthiness. When guilt drops, money relaxes around you. It no longer feels dangerous. It no longer carries the heavy baggage of your anxiety. It becomes what it was always meant to be, a tool, a support, a byproduct of a conscious life. And once receiving becomes natural, something else becomes possible. Money no longer needs to be held tightly. It can move, it can circulate. Now we come to something very simple, yet almost everyone lives in direct contradiction to it. Money grows when it moves. Life grows when it flows. Anything that stops flowing begins to rot. This is a law of nature. This is not morality. This is not charity. This is pure intelligence. When you hold money out of fear, it holds fear inside you. When you allow money to circulate, fear is lost. Circulation is trust in action. It says life will continue to give. It says I am not alone. It says I am part of a larger movement, not a separate lonely struggler. Hoarding is not security. Hoarding is panic frozen into a habit. You tell yourself you are being careful, that you are being responsible for your future. But inside there is tension. You watch what you have with anxiety. You check your accounts compulsively. You protect it instead of using it. And slowly the money becomes heavy. It stops serving your life and starts dominating it. You become a slave to what you possess. Generosity without guilt is not a sacrifice, it is an overflow. When something is overflowing, it must spill, not because you force it, but because there is more than enough. The spilling invites more. Life trusts those who trust it. Think of the human body. Blood must circulate. If the blood stops in one place, a clot forms and sickness appears. If it flows freely, the entire body remains alive, healthy, and energized. Money is no different. It is the blood of the social body. When it circulates, it nourishes many parts of your life and the lives around you. When it is blocked, fear accumulates. Balance replaces fear. You give where giving feels natural. You receive where receiving feels natural. You do not force either. You do not use generosity to prove your goodness to the world. You do not use saving to prove your intelligence. You remain relaxed in the center. Circulation also sharpens your clarity. When money moves through you, you become more aware of what truly matters. You spend with presence. You invest with intelligence. You share with joy. And because there is no panic, there is no waste. This is why people who are at ease with money tend to attract more of it. They do not worship it. They do not fear it. They do not cling to it. They use it, enjoy it, and let it move on when it wants to. Money does not like to be imprisoned. It likes to be used. It likes to be appreciated. It likes to be part of life's dance. When you understand this, money stays with you longer, not shorter. And when you are at ease in this way, something very subtle happens. Money stops being the center of your existence. Life becomes the center. And from that center, abundance appears without effort. Now everything comes back to you. Not as an intellectual idea to remember, but as a way of standing inside your own life. You have seen this truth. Fear blocks flow. Tension repels what wants to come close. Chasing creates distance. And relaxation, simple, total relaxation, opens doors that effort never could. Inner abundance always comes first. When you are full inside, money no longer feels like a matter of survival. It feels like support. It arrives without panic. It stays without fear. And when it goes, it does not leave wounds behind. It leaves trust. Relaxation attracts opportunity because opportunity needs space. Receiving completes the circle because giving alone creates imbalance. Trusting life's intelligence allows you to move with existence instead of fighting against it. Nothing here is magical. It is entirely natural. So the invitation is simple. Relax into abundance. Drop the fear and the guilt. Let life show you how much it can give when you stop fighting it. You do not need to prove your worth through struggle. You do not need to earn ease through suffering. You are allowed to receive. You keep running after money. And that is exactly why it runs away from you. Money is shy. It does not follow the one who begs. It follows the one who is still. When you stop chasing, it starts coming. When you stop craving, it starts serving. Humanity has misunderstood the whole game. They think money is attracted by hard work, by brutal competition, by endless struggle. But the truth is, money comes to those who are at ease with life, to those who move with grace, not with greed. When your energy is relaxed, existence begins to serve you. You will learn the secret that the masters of life have always known. Abundance is not something you earn, it is something you allow. If you are ready to master this art of allowing, to truly understand the mechanics of inner wealth, I encourage you to read the ebooks available in the description. They hold keys that will accelerate your journey. And as we continue to explore this truth, remember that simply liking this video helps to align your energy with the flow of giving and receiving. I will show you why effort creates scarcity, why struggle blocks success, and how relaxation becomes the ultimate magnet for riches. When you understand this, wealth becomes a play and life becomes effortless. You have been told that money comes through hard work, long hours, and sacrifice. You have been taught that you must compete, hustle, and constantly prove yourself. And yet, the harder you try, the further it seems to go. You earn, but you never feel rich. You save, but you never feel secure. I understand this struggle. It is not just about money. It is about trust. You have forgotten how to let life take care of you. You think existence needs your push, but it only needs your permission. The real richness begins when you stop living from fear. When you relax into the flow, money, love, and opportunities begin to arrive on their own. You do not force them, you allow them, and so we explore the art of attracting wealth effortlessly, not through ambition but through awareness. I will show you why money follows joy, not anxiety, why the more playful your spirit, the more abundance life gives you. You will understand that money is not material, it is energy. It responds to your inner frequency, not your outer labor. When you are calm, clear, and connected, abundance finds its way to you naturally. We are going deep into what real prosperity means. Not accumulation, but alignment. You will see that existence is infinitely rich, and that poverty is only a misunderstanding of energy. You will know how to live in such a way that money becomes your servant, not your master. So listen closely. Do not be in a hurry to apply what you hear. Just listen. Absorb it. Because if you truly understand, if you absorb this deeply, you will not have to do anything to attract money. It will begin to come effortlessly, gracefully, because you will have remembered the secret. Existence takes care of those who trust. Here is something most people completely miss. Your poverty has nothing to do with the lack of money. Poverty is not about what is in your pocket. It is about what is in your mind. You can be surrounded by gold and still live like a beggar if your mind is constantly striving, constantly chasing, constantly afraid that it is not enough. The real poverty is effort, the endless effort to get somewhere, to become someone, to prove your worth to society. The poor man is not the one who has little. The poor man is the one who believes that more will make him whole. And so he runs, not because he is poor in material, but because he is restless in spirit. Effort is born from fear. You are not working for joy. You are working out of anxiety. You are afraid that if you stop, you lose everything. So you push, you grind, you hustle, you compete, not because you love the game of creation, but because you are terrified of falling behind. And that fear poisons your energy, it tightens your body, it hardens your mind, and it shuts the door on abundance. Because abundance does not come to the tense, it comes to the trusting. The man who trusts existence does not need to fight with life, he flows with it. The more relaxed you are, the more life opens its treasures to you. The whole world has been taught the same lie, that hard work creates wealth. But have you seen how many people work from sunrise to sunset only to remain poor, exhausted, and empty? If hard work were the key, the manual laborer would be a millionaire. If struggle brought success, then misery should make you rich. But it doesn't. Hard work without awareness is just a more respectable form of slavery. You are running in circles faster and faster, thinking speed will make the circle a straight line. But you only end up dizzy, tired, bitter, and still in the exact same place. Let me tell you a small story. There was once a man who lived by a great river. He was thirsty, but instead of drinking directly, he brought buckets and tried to scoop the water into his house. He spent his entire life running between the river and his doorstep, carrying the same water he could have simply bent down to drink. He called this work, but one day an old man came to him and laughed. "Why are you sweating so much?" he asked. "The river was never meant to be carried, it was meant to be entered. You see, life is that river. You were never meant to carry it. You were meant to flow with it. The more you scoop with your little buckets of ego, the less you drink. The man who chases money is like the farmer who pulls on his plants to make them grow faster. He destroys what he desires most." You cannot force abundance. It blooms naturally when you stop interfering. Money is energy, and energy responds to harmony. If your mind is in chaos, your life will reflect it. If your mind is relaxed, opportunities begin to appear without effort. Have you noticed how when you stop thinking about something, it suddenly falls into place? When you stop pushing doors open, they open themselves. That is not coincidence. That is the nature of energy. Effort is resistance. Relaxation is magnetism. You have been told to hustle harder, to do more, to compete, to grind. But competition is the mindset of the poor. It comes from the fear that there isn't enough for everyone. And this fear creates scarcity, not in the world, but in your vibration. The more you try to outdo others, the more you affirm to the universe that you are lacking. But when you trust that life is abundant, competition becomes meaningless. You start playing from joy, not fear. And paradoxically, that is when you begin to attract everything you once chased. You think money is attracted by effort, but it isn't. It is attracted by ease. It comes to those who are not desperate for it, to those who are in tune with their purpose, to those who work not for money but from passion. The universe is intelligent. It doesn't reward struggle. It rewards alignment. A man in harmony with himself becomes magnetic. He doesn't have to shout. He doesn't have to beg. He doesn't have to chase. Things begin to move toward him because his energy says, "I am complete." The one who feels incomplete keeps pushing everything away. There is a story from the East about a man who spent his life trying to become rich. He worked day and night, saving every coin, always afraid of losing what he had. When he finally grew old and died, People found a note beside his bed that said, "I am tired, I never lived." He had forgotten that his energy was the real currency. Every breath spent in worry was a coin wasted. Every moment of peace lost to striving was a piece of gold thrown away. He was rich in possessions, but he was absolutely poor in life. If you do not want to reach the end of your life with such a note, I urge you to shift your perception now. Subscribe to the channel so we can remind you of this truth daily. Leave a comment sharing your thoughts on the illusion of hustle culture. And if you want to support this message of liberation, please use the join button or send a super thanks. True wealth is not created by what you do. It is created by how you are. You can do less and attract more when your energy is aligned. You can speak less and influence more when your words come from silence. You can move less and accomplish more when your actions arise from awareness. This is the great paradox of life. The lazier you are in the ego, the richer you become in spirit. Laziness here does not mean inaction. It means effortless action. It means letting the universe move through you rather than trying to push the universe yourself. Once you understand that effort is poverty, a beautiful realization dawns on you. You see that all your struggle was never necessary. Life was waiting to give you everything you asked for. You were just too busy asking, too busy running to receive it. When you stop striving, you start receiving. When you stop running, life catches up to you. It was never about deserving, it was about allowing. The poor man believes he must earn every blessing. The rich man knows that blessings are already flowing. He only needs to open his hands, and you can only open your hands when you stop clutching. Imagine a monkey reaching into a jar to grab a handful of rice. His fist becomes trapped because he refuses to let go. That is humanity's story. You are trapped by your own grip. Let go, and the whole world opens before you. So I tell you, stop trying so hard. You have done enough. You have struggled enough. Now learn to rest. Learn to trust. Money is not your enemy. Your effort is. Relax and watch how quickly existence begins to serve you. The moment you stop pushing against life, life rushes to meet you. And once you begin to see this, that abundance comes through allowance, not effort, a new question naturally arises within you. If not by striving, then how does wealth really come? That is the energy of allowance, the secret rhythm that makes all abundance flow effortlessly toward you. What I am about to tell you may seem almost upside down to everything you have been taught, because you were raised in a world that glorifies struggle, that worships the hustler, that tells you to chase, to fight, to grind until your last breath. But existence does not work that way. It never has. Look around you. Nothing in nature struggles to become what it already is. The tree doesn't rush to grow. The flower doesn't strain to bloom. The river doesn't force itself to flow. They all exist in the effortless rhythm of allowance. They move, yes, but their movement is not resistance. It is surrender. That is the energy of abundance, the energy of money, the energy of life itself. Everything that grows, everything that multiplies, does so in trust. The soil trusts the seed trusts the rain trusts the cloud, and the cloud trusts the wind. There is no hurry, no anxiety, no bargaining. It is all a beautiful, silent dance of faith. But man has forgotten how to dance. He has become an accountant of life, constantly measuring, calculating, worrying. How much have I earned? How much have I lost? What do I deserve? He has turned existence into an equation of effort and reward, and in that very calculation, he loses his connection with the flow. When you try to control the flow of life, you choke it. It is like holding your breath to save oxygen, only to wonder why you are suffocating. Life is giving. It is generous beyond measure. It has been showering abundance since before you were born, but you were too busy tightening your fists to receive money. Like love is shy. It does not come to the beggar. It comes to the one who is already full. It does not come to the chaser. It comes to the one who is still. It does not come to the anxious. It comes to the peaceful. You must become receptive, open, relaxed. Allowance is not passivity. This is where the mind tricks you. The mind says, if I just allow, I will become a vegetable. I will do nothing. But allowance is the highest form of participation. When you are truly relaxed, your energy aligns with existence, and then things start happening on their own. Opportunities arise, people appear, ideas come, and abundance begins to unfold effortlessly, as if invisible hands were guiding it all. This is the law of allowance, the art of letting life work for you instead of you working against life. Let me tell you a simple story. A man once came to me and said, Osho, I have been meditating for years, but nothing happens. I am not peaceful, I am not prosperous, I am not fulfilled. I smiled at him and said, stop meditating. He looked shocked. But how can I stop? It is my practice, my discipline, my devotion. I said, that is exactly the problem. You are doing meditation. You are still striving, still fighting, still trying to control what cannot be controlled. Meditation isn't something you do. It is something that happens when you stop doing. Just sit and breathe. Let the silence find you. He left confused, but after a few days, he returned with tears in his eyes. I didn't meditate, he said. I just sat there and suddenly everything felt perfect. That is how life works. The moment you stop pushing, the moment you allow, grace enters. Allowance is not laziness. It is deep trust. It is not about doing nothing. It is about doing without tension. When you act from relaxation, every gesture becomes powerful because it is aligned with the rhythm of the whole. When you move with existence, you move in harmony. But when you act from fear, every step becomes a struggle because you are moving against the current. Fear divides your energy. It splits you in two. One part moves forward, the other pulls back. That is why your actions exhaust you. The relaxed man is not divided. He moves as one whole, and in that wholeness, miracles happen. The universe does not respond to effort. It responds to vibration. You cannot deceive it. You can say affirmations all day. You can visualize wealth until your eyes hurt. You can repeat mantras until your throat dries. But if your inner energy is tense, doubtful, desperate, life will mirror that desperation. You may fool the world with your confident words, but you cannot fool existence. Money will not come to you because you want it. It will come to you because you are ready for it. Readiness means openness, trust, receptivity. It means saying to life, I am here. I am enough. I am willing to receive whatever you wish to give. Have you ever noticed that when you are happy, when you are relaxed, when you are deeply enjoying yourself, good things start happening? Suddenly you meet the right people, you find the right opportunities, Even money seems to appear out of nowhere. That is not coincidence, that is resonance. The frequency of joy attracts abundance. The frequency of anxiety attracts scarcity. When you are joyful, you are saying to existence, I trust you, and existence replies, then let me show you how generous I can be. But when you are fearful, when you are tense, when you are desperate, you are saying, I don't trust you, and existence says, then I cannot give. The mind will argue, of course. It will say, but if I don't plan, if I don't push, how will I survive? How will I succeed? The mind believes it must control everything, but control is the illusion of the insecure. Look at the sky. It doesn't need your control to remain vast. Look at the stars. They don't need your permission to shine. Look at your breath. It has been flowing in and out without your effort since you were born. Who manages that? Not you. There is a greater intelligence at work, something far wiser than your plans and goals. And when you begin to trust that intelligence, you become effortless. You stop chasing, and suddenly everything starts chasing you. Think of a musician playing a flute. The music doesn't come because he forces it. It comes because he allows it. He becomes one with the instrument, one with the breath, one with the melody. The less he tries, the more beautiful the sound. That is how existence works. When you stop forcing, it begins to play through you. You don't need to make things happen. You only need to allow them. There is a story of a man holding a handful of sand. The tighter he squeezed, the more it slipped through his fingers. When he finally opened his hand, the sand settled softly on his palm. That is the law of allowance in its simplest form. When you grip life, it escapes you. When you open your hand, it stays. So remember this, abundance is not achieved, it is received. You don't have to chase it, you have to make space for it. Relax into trust. Let go of the belief that struggle creates success. Existence is infinitely abundant. Its generosity is beyond measure, but it will not force its gifts on you. It waits for your permission. You must become the open sky, not the closed fist. And when you begin to live this way, when your energy shifts from tension to trust, from effort to allowance, a new understanding begins to dawn. You see that abundance is not separate from creativity, that to attract wealth you must first express it, that the richest people are not those who take the most, but those who give the most freely, joyfully, without calculation. And that is what we will explore next, the divine truth that creativity itself is the real currency of existence. And when you create from joy, money becomes your shadow. Now we come to something deeper, something that few people ever truly understand. Money doesn't come from taking, it comes from creating. The universe does not reward greed, it rewards expression. The moment you begin to live creatively, the moment you begin to share your energy, your ideas, your joy, existence begins to pour abundance into you. Because money in its essence is not a thing, it is a movement, a current, a reflection of your creative flow. When your energy is alive, when you are giving to life, life starts to give back to you in ways that cannot be predicted or measured. But when you close yourself off, when you hold, when you resist, you stop the flow, and all forms of richness, not just money, begin to dry up. If your soul is longing for this creative explosion, I invite you to click the join button and walk with us. By joining, you are not just watching, You are participating in a frequency of awakening. And if these words have just sparked an idea in your mind, a creative urge, you can honor that spark with a super thanks. For those who want to dive deeper into awakening their inner creator, the ebooks linked in the description are a perfect guide. I also want you to drop a comment below. What is the one thing you love creating, even if no one pays you for it? That is your true wealth. Share it with us. Most people think of money as something to possess, something to store, to hold, to guard. But money, like blood, must circulate. Otherwise, it becomes poison. A stagnant river rots. A flowing one stays pure. The same law governs wealth. The more freely it moves through you, the more of its existence entrusts to your hands. The moment you try to capture it, it begins to slip away. Money is meant to flow not just through transactions, but through creation, through generosity, through sharing the gifts that are uniquely yours. The more you hold, the less you have. The more you share, the more you become. The truly rich are not those who accumulate, they are those who create. Creation is abundance manifesting itself. Look at existence. Look at how endlessly creative it is. The sun doesn't rise once and stop, it rises every day. The trees don't grow one season and retire, they bloom again and again. The ocean doesn't make one wave, it makes billions. Life is extravagant, it overflows. And yet you have been told to limit yourself, to be efficient, to be conservative, to be safe. The moment you became afraid to create, you became poor, because life flows through the courageous. Abundance belongs to those who dare to express. There is a story about a painter who lived in a small village. He was poor not because he lacked talent, but because he kept painting what others wanted to see. He copied the style of famous artists. He tried to please everyone, but no one bought his work. One day, tired and desperate, he stopped trying. He threw away his brushes, sat under a tree, and began painting for himself. He painted the sky the way he saw it, wild, chaotic, full of laughter. He painted the river, the trees, his own heartbeat, and people began to notice. His paintings came alive. Within months, his work was in demand. But he no longer cared about selling. He painted because he had found joy. That is how abundance works. It comes when you stop trading your authenticity for approval. Every act of true creativity is a prayer to existence. When you dance, when you sing, when you write, when you build, when you serve, not for gain but for joy, you align yourself with the very nature of life. Existence is a constant creation. Every second it births stars, ideas, beings. To live creatively is to live in tune with the divine. And once you are in tune, abundance follows effortlessly. You cannot stop it because you have become one with the source of all creation. You are no longer asking for wealth. You are channeling it. Real wealth comes from inspiration, not obligation. When you act from duty, you are heavy. When you act from joy, you are light. The world has enough laborers. It needs creators. It has enough workers. It needs dreamers. When you create something of beauty, even if it's just a kind word, a smile, a meal, a melody, you participate in the expansion of life, and life never forgets to reward those who expand it. The more joy you add to existence, the more joy comes back to you, multiplied, magnified, transformed. But this giving cannot be mechanical. You cannot fake generosity. You cannot say, I will give so that I can get. That is business, not giving. True giving is spontaneous. It arises from fullness, not strategy. You give because you have too much to contain. The tree doesn't give fruit as charity. It gives because it is overflowing. When you live that way, every act becomes sacred. When you cook, when you talk, when you create, when you love, it becomes meditation. And meditation is the highest form of magnetism. The more silent and joyful you are, the more existence pours abundance into you. This is the law of creativity, that money follows joy, not toil. The universe does not respond to sweat. It responds to sincerity. When you create something meaningful, even if it seems small, existence takes note. It begins to conspire in your favor. You meet the right people at the right time. Ideas blossom without effort. Opportunities appear as if out of nowhere. This is not magic. It is the natural result of alignment. When your heart, your work, and your joy are one, abundance is inevitable. You have been told to work for money. I tell you, let money work for you. You have been told to sacrifice your creativity for stability. I tell you, stability is death, creativity is life. A flower that stops blooming in fear of the wind will wither anyway. The artist who hides his art because he fears failure is already poor. Don't fear failure. Existence doesn't measure your success by results. It measures your energy. Even a small act done with total love is worth more than a lifetime of dull labor. There is another story about a man who planted trees not for profit but for love. Every morning he would walk into the forest and plant a few seeds. People mocked him. Why waste your time? You won't live to see them grow. But he smiled and kept planting. Years passed, and the forest grew dense and green. Birds returned, rain fell more often, and the entire village prospered. He had never asked for anything, but life gave him everything. That is the mystery of abundance. When you stop asking, life starts giving. So understand this clearly. Creativity is currency. The more creative you are, the richer your life becomes. Not just in money, but in love, in health, in peace. To create is to trust. To trust is to allow. And to allow is to live in abundance. Stop asking, what can I get? Start asking, what can I give? Because what you give is what grows. And when you begin to live in this rhythm, when every breath becomes an offering, when every act becomes art, money becomes a natural companion. It follows like a shadow, quietly, effortlessly. You don't have to run after it. You only have to dance your dance, sing your song, share your gift. And once you discover this secret that giving and receiving are one, something magnificent happens inside you. The fear of loss disappears, and in its place, gratitude begins to bloom. You start to understand that life was never withholding anything from you. You were withholding yourself from life. And that is what we will explore next. The dance of giving, the sacred rhythm that turns every act of sharing into abundance, every gesture of love into wealth, every breath into prosperity. Because when you give, you remind existence that you are alive, and existence never forgets to give back to those who live fully. When you begin to live in this understanding, a subtle shift happens within your being. Giving stops feeling like sacrifice and starts feeling like breathing. You inhale, you exhale, you receive, you give. There is no tension, no calculation, no agenda. It is natural, effortless, rhythmic. This is the dance of giving, the real heartbeat of abundance. You see, the universe has its own pulse, its own flow. And when you live in alignment with that rhythm, you begin to experience a mysterious synchronicity, as if life itself is dancing with you. Every time you share with joy, the universe responds with more. Every time you hoard out of fear, life quietly closes its doors. You don't get punished, you simply fall out of harmony. Abundance is not a reward, it is a resonance. People think that when they give, they lose something. But what you give doesn't disappear, it transforms. A candle that lights another candle loses nothing. Instead, the light doubles. The beggar holds on to his last coin and remains poor. The wise man gives his last coin and discovers that his hands are never empty again, because giving opens the space through which life can enter. It is like opening a window in a dark room. The moment you do, the breeze begins to move, the light begins to pour in. But if you keep the window shut, you may have safety, but you also have suffocation. When you stop giving, you stop growing. When you stop growing, you begin to die. Giving is not limited to money. That is the smallest form of it. You can give your attention, your kindness, your laughter, your creativity, your time, your silence. Every form of giving is sacred because it acknowledges the truth that nothing is truly yours. It is all flowing through you. You are just a channel, a bridge, a vessel. And when the vessel allows the water to flow freely, it is always full. But when it tries to hold, it cracks. Life's energy cannot be contained. It must move. So let it move through you and you will never lack. There was once a beggar who lived outside a rich man's mansion. Every day he begged for food and every day he cursed his fate. Years passed and he grew old, bitter, resentful. When he was dying, someone asked him to open the box he had been sitting on for decades. Inside they found gold coins, enough to feed him for 100 lifetimes. He had been sitting on his treasure the whole time, unaware of it. Humanity lives like that beggar. You sit on infinite abundance, the abundance of love, of creativity, of connection, yet you go on begging from life, saying, "Give me more." You don't realize that by giving you begin to discover the treasure hidden within you. I have often said that money is like blood. It must circulate. If blood stops flowing, the body dies. If money stops flowing, your life stagnates. You become rigid, fearful, small. The miser is the poorest of men because he is owned by his possessions. His gold is his coffin. He counts it every day to make sure it's still there, not realizing that in his fear of losing it, he has already lost life. The one who gives freely is never poor because he is connected to the infinite source. He doesn't rely on what he owns, he relies on what flows, and flow is infinite. Have you ever noticed that after giving, after sharing something with genuine love, you feel lighter, freer, more alive? That is not imagination, that is energy in motion. When you give, you cleanse yourself of stagnation. You release old patterns of fear and space opens for something new to enter. But when you hold back, when you act from greed, that energy becomes blocked. It turns into tension, into anxiety, into disease. Even your body knows it. People who hold too tightly, who fear losing, often suffer physically. Their energy is trapped. But the ones who trust, who share, who live generously, they glow, they radiate because their energy moves like a river, fresh and alive. And this is where a strange paradox unfolds. The more you give, the more you receive. But it is not a transaction, it is a law. Existence abhors emptiness. Whenever you create space through giving, it rushes to fill it. But if you hoard, if you clutter your hands and your heart, there is no room left for the new. Imagine a cup already full. How can you pour more tea into it? To receive, you must first empty. This is why giving and receiving are not opposites. They are two sides of the same act. When you give, you are simultaneously receiving because you are saying to life, I trust you, and life loves that trust. It responds with abundance. Let me tell you another story. A monk once lived by a river, meditating all day. One morning he saw a poor fisherman drop his food into the water. The man was devastated, for it was all he had. The monk watched silently, then offered the fisherman his own meal. The fisherman bowed with tears in his eyes and said, How can I repay you? The monk smiled and said, By feeding the next hungry soul you meet. That evening the fisherman caught more fish than he ever had in his life. He remembered the monk's words and began to share. Years later, the entire village prospered because one man had chosen to give rather than hold. Giving multiplies because it connects you to the web of existence. You don't need to keep score. Existence keeps balance on its own. Real generosity has nothing to do with wealth. A rich man may give millions and remain poor if his giving comes from pride. But a poor man who gives a smile, who offers kindness, who shares his last piece of bread with love, he is infinitely rich. True giving is not about the size of the gift, it is about the state of the heart. You give not to gain, but because giving itself is joy. When giving becomes your nature, when it becomes your way of being, money will flow to you because you have become a channel for it to circulate through. You are no longer holding, you are allowing. Remember this, giving doesn't mean losing, it means trusting. When you trust existence enough to let go, existence trusts you enough to give more. And this trust creates a magnetic field around you. People want to give to you, opportunities want to come to you, abundance wants to reach you. You don't have to chase anymore. You become the center around which everything begins to move. This is the power of the open hand, the power of the generous heart. So let your giving be play, not duty. Let it be song, not strategy. Don't give with a frown, give with laughter. Don't give to impress, give to express. Because the moment you start giving from joy, you join the dance of existence. And in that dance there is no poverty, no scarcity, no fear, only flow. And once you realize this, once you begin to see that the universe itself breathes through the rhythm of giving and receiving, a deeper truth begins to unfold, that abundance is not something you achieve through struggle or attract through effort. It is a frequency, a vibration, and the moment you tune your being to it through gratitude, through trust, through joy, it becomes impossible for wealth to avoid you. It must find you because you become one with its song. And that is what we will explore next. The frequency of wealth, the vibration of abundance that lives not in your bank account but in your being. Because when your energy sings in harmony with existence, money is no longer something you earn. It becomes the echo of your joy, the reflection of your inner richness, the music of your effortless alignment with life itself. Everything in this universe is energy. Everything, your thoughts, your emotions, your breath, your heartbeat, your laughter, even your silence. It is all vibration. Science is just beginning to understand what the mystics have known for thousands of years. The solid world you see around you is an illusion. Deep down at the subatomic level, there is no matter, only dancing energy. And money too is energy. It is a subtle current that moves through the field of life, responding not to your words, not to your effort, but to your frequency. You cannot see it with your physical eyes, but you can feel it, that invisible hum beneath everything that either opens the door to abundance or quietly closes it. When you are fearful, tense, anxious, your vibration contracts, your energy becomes small, dense, heavy. The universe feels it. It reads it like a signal. And because the universe always mirrors you, it sends back experiences that match that energy, scarcity, struggle, limitation. But when you are relaxed, grateful, joyous, open, your vibration expands. It becomes soft, light, radiant. You become magnetic, and money, opportunities, and synchronicities begin to orbit around you as naturally as planets around the sun. This is the frequency of wealth. It is not a frequency of greed, not a frequency of ambition, but a frequency of deep trust. To vibrate in abundance means to live as if you already have enough, because in truth you do. It means to walk through life with a quiet knowing that you are supported, that existence is on your side, that there is no need to rush, no need to push, no need to panic. If this knowing is awakening within you right now, I invite you to click the join button and become an active member of this conscious community. By joining, you are tuning your own radio dial to the frequency of wisdom. And if you feel the urge to express the overflow of your own energy, you can use the super thanks feature. This is not a transaction. It is a manifestation of the very law of circulation we are discussing. When you live in this vibration, money starts to behave differently. It stops being an adversary, something to chase or control, and becomes a friend, a reflection of your inner state. I once met a man who had everything money could buy, houses, cars, fame, yet his eyes were filled with fear. He was constantly worried that he might lose what he had gained. His hands were full, but his heart was empty. His vibration was scarcity disguised as success. He attracted wealth, yes, but his energy repelled peace. He didn't understand that abundance is not measured by what you possess, but by how you feel. I told him, "You have collected shadows. What you are missing is light, and that light is gratitude." Gratitude is the most powerful magnet in existence. When you are grateful, you tell the universe, "I trust you." You acknowledge that what you have is enough, that what you are is enough. And the universe, hearing that beautiful vibration, says, "Then take more." Because life gives to those who celebrate, not to those who complain. Have you noticed that when you are unhappy, even the smallest inconvenience feels incredibly heavy? But when you are joyful, even the biggest challenges seem light, almost like a game. That is because gratitude changes your frequency. It turns every obstacle into an opportunity, every loss into a lesson, every moment into wealth. There was once a monk who had nothing but an old wooden bow. Every morning he would walk through the village, thanking existence for the chance to beg. Even when people ignored him, even when he went hungry, he remained grateful. One night he placed his empty bowl before him under the stars and whispered, "Thank you for this emptiness, for even in it there is space for fullness to come." The next morning he found food in his bowl, not because someone gave it to him out of pity, but because the universe itself responded to his vibration. Gratitude doesn't wait for abundance to arrive so that it can be grateful. It creates the abundance. Your vibration is your real currency. Words are cheap. Energy is priceless. You can speak of prosperity all day. You can repeat affirmations in front of the mirror and visualize wealth until you are dizzy. But if your heart is heavy, if your spirit is full of doubt, those affirmations are like seeds scattered on concrete. They will not take root. But one moment of genuine gratitude, one moment of deep joy, one moment of absolute trust is enough to open doors that logic could never open. The frequency of wealth is not intellectual, it is emotional. It is spiritual. It is not something you think your way into. It is something you feel your way into. Imagine tuning a radio. The station is already broadcasting. The music is already there in the airwaves. But if you are on the wrong frequency, all you hear is static. You can shout at the radio, you can bang on it, you can blame the music, but until you tune yourself to the right frequency, nothing changes. The same applies to money. The music of abundance is always playing, but most people are too busy shouting over it to hear. When you quiet your mind, when you soften your energy, when you trust the rhythm, suddenly the music becomes clear and you realize it was never missing. You were simply out of tune. The mind loves to complicate things. The mind is a machine of complexity. It says, I must do more, achieve more, plan more. But energy is simple. It doesn't respond to your plans. It responds to your peace. The more peaceful you are, the more power flows through you. That is why the richest experiences in life come to those who are calm. A calm lake reflects the moon perfectly. A stormy sea distorts its image. When your mind is calm, you reflect the abundance of the universe clearly, and it flows into you without resistance. When your mind is restless, your reflection is broken, and even the light of abundance cannot find its way in. So learn to be still, not passive, still. Stillness is not in action. It is presence. It is the art of being fully here, without tension, without distraction, without demand. When you are still, you become a mirror, and life begins to reflect back its greatest beauty. When you are still, you vibrate with the frequency of the cosmos itself, infinite, abundant, eternal. I remember a man once came to me and said, Osho, I've been praying for money for years and nothing happens. I asked him, when you pray, what do you feel? He said, I feel desperate. I smiled and said, then you are praying for desperation. The universe doesn't hear your words. It hears your vibration. If your prayer is filled with lack, you are reinforcing lack. If your meditation is filled with anxiety, you are deepening anxiety. You cannot trick the universe. It speaks the language of energy, not words. The only true prayer is gratitude, and the only true meditation is silence. When you start to live in gratitude, money becomes light, fluid, alive. It stops being a burden, stops being something to cling to, and starts being something that moves freely through you. You begin to attract not because you desire, but because you are aligned. The moment you stop needing money, it starts needing you, because your vibration is peace, and peace is priceless. If you are beginning to sense the truth of this peace, I urge you to subscribe to this channel. Share this video with those who are still caught in the storm of the mind. And for those who are ready to dive into the deeper mechanics of this inner silence, the ebooks listed in the description will serve as a profound guide. I also invite you to the comment section. What are 3 things right now in this very moment that you can be grateful for? Name them, feel them, vibrate with them, So remember this: abundance is not something you achieve, it is something you attune to. You don't chase it, you become it. When you vibrate with joy, gratitude, trust, creativity, and love, existence mirrors those qualities back to you. You find yourself living in a world that feels generous, loving, supportive, and miraculous, not because the world changed, but because your vibration did. And when you begin to live in this vibration, when your energy sings the song of abundance, something extraordinary happens. You start to see that money was never the goal, only the reflection. The real wealth was never in your possessions, it was in your perception. You discover that the richest person is not the one who owns the most, but the one who needs the least. And that is what we will explore next. What lies beyond money, the true riches that no bank can hold, no market can sell, and no thief can steal. The wealth of being, the richness of awareness, the abundance of freedom. Because once you understand this, even gold will look poor compared to the treasure of your own soul. Once this understanding begins to ripen inside you, once you start to feel that the real treasure of life is not outside you but within you, a gentle laughter arises. You begin to see how humanity has been chasing shadows, fighting over reflections, dying for illusions. People kill for money, yet they cannot take even a single coin beyond the grave. They fight to own what was never theirs to begin with, blind to the truth that what is truly theirs, their awareness, their freedom, their joy, they have ignored completely. This is why I say that the richest man is not the one who owns the world, but the one who has no need to own anything at all. True wealth is freedom from need, when you are no longer possessed by your possessions, when your happiness is not tied to what you have or don't have. You step into a wealth that cannot be lost. That is the wealth of being. You were born rich, not with money but with consciousness. You entered this world with the greatest treasure already within you, the ability to be aware, to love, to create, to witness. But from the moment you arrived, you were taught that your value depends on what you earn, on what you achieve, on how others see you. So you began the endless race, the competition to become someone, to have something, to prove something. And in that mad race, you lost the greatest gift you had, yourself. The world made you believe that peace comes from possession. But possession only breeds anxiety. You don't possess things, they possess you. The moment you own something, you start fearing its loss. You buy a big house, and now you have to protect it. You buy a fast car, and now you are worried it will be scratched. You accumulate millions, and now you are terrified of the tax collector, the market crash, the thief, and fear is the exact opposite of wealth. Real abundance begins when fear ends, when you no longer cling, no longer compare, no longer calculate. Suddenly a new dimension opens within you, a vastness, a stillness, a serenity that no fortune can buy. You start living as awareness, not as ego. The ego is poor because it always needs more. It feeds on desire, and desire is a bottomless pit. No matter how much you throw into it, it remains empty. Awareness, on the other hand, is always full. It needs nothing because it sees that everything it truly needs is already here. When you live as awareness, you could be sitting under a tree with nothing but the sky above and the earth beneath, and you would feel like an emperor. There was once a great king who had everything: armies, palaces, jewels, women, fame. Yet he was deeply miserable. He could not sleep at night. He could not enjoy his food. One day he heard about a mystic living in the mountains, a man who owned nothing, not even a spare set of clothes, yet he was said to be the happiest man in the world. The king went to him and asked, "Tell me your secret. How can I be as happy as you?" The mystic laughed and said, "Give me your kingdom, and I'll give you my happiness." The king hesitated. "That's impossible. I cannot give up everything I own. I am a king." The mystic smiled and said, "Then you can never be free, because you are owned by what you think you own. My happiness is not in what I have, it's in what I don't need." The king left angry, but those words stayed with him. They haunted him. Slowly he began to let go. First his greed, then his pride, then his fears. And one day he woke up laughing. He had lost everything, but he had found himself, and in that moment he realized he had gained the world. Freedom is the ultimate luxury, and awareness is the only true currency. When you are free, when your joy is not dependent on conditions, you have found the real gold. The enlightened man may have nothing, yet kings bow before him because his presence radiates the fragrance of inner richness. He does not chase abundance. Abundance chases him. Why? Because he has become abundance itself. When you are whole, life surrounds you with wholeness. When you are empty, life mirrors that emptiness. The lotus is my symbol for this truth. It grows in the mud, yet remains untouched by it. It rises from the darkness of the pond, yet blooms in the light of the sun. The lotus teaches you that true richness is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to stay pure within. You live in the world, you use money, you engage with the marketplace, but you remain untouched. You remain a witness. The marketplace cannot corrupt you if you are centered in your own being. You can have millions, and yet inside you are a beggar if you are attached. You can have nothing, and inside you are an emperor if you are detached. Detachment does not mean running away to the Himalayas. Detachment means living fully, intensely, passionately, but knowing that none of it defines you. Money is just a means. It is a utility. It is a bridge. You do not build your house on the bridge. You use the bridge to cross over. But humanity has made its home on the bridge. They are living in the currency, not the current. They are living in the means, forgetting the end. The end is your own expansion. The end is your own blossoming. When you touch this inner center, you realize that the external world is just a playground. Money is just a toy. It is a beautiful toy, and you should play with it. But do not let the toy play with you. Do not become serious about it. The moment you become serious, you lose your grace. Grace is the hallmark of true abundance. Watch a man who is truly rich in spirit. He walks with grace. He speaks with grace. He breathes with grace. He is not in a hurry. Why should he hurry? He is already at the destination. The whole universe is available to him. This state of grace is your birthright. It is not something I am trying to give you. It is something I am trying to remind you of. You have just forgotten. You have been distracted by the noise of the world. You have been hypnotized by the advertisements of greed. Wake up from the hypnosis, shake off the dust of centuries of conditioning. Stand up in your own inner majesty, and when you do, you will laugh. You will laugh at your own past struggles. You will laugh at the days you spent worrying about bank accounts and future security, because you will see that security is a myth. Life is an adventure, a beautiful, unpredictable adventure, and security is the death of adventure. Embrace the insecurity of life. In that insecurity lies the ultimate freedom. In that freedom lies the ultimate abundance. You do not need a guarantee from existence. Existence is already taking care of you. The sun rises for you, the wind blows for you, the trees breathe for you, the whole cosmos is supporting your life this very moment. What more proof of abundance do you need? If this realization touches your heart, do not just let it pass like a fleeting emotion. Anchor it. You can do this by engaging with the energy of this teaching. Click the join button and become a patron of this awakening. Send a super thanks as a declaration to the universe that you are now living from a place of overflow, not lack. And remember the ebooks available below, they are structured to take your mind step by step out of the illusion of poverty and into the reality of infinite wealth. I want you to comment below with the word freedom if you are ready to drop the chains of financial anxiety and claim your inner kingdom. This is the ultimate alchemy, transforming the base metal of your fear into the pure gold of awareness. This is what you are here for, not to accumulate things, but to accumulate light, not to gather possessions, but to gather consciousness. So let the money come and let the money go. Be a watcher. Enjoy the coming and enjoy the going. Both are beautiful. The inhalation is beautiful and the exhalation is beautiful. You do not cling to the breath. If you cling to the inhalation, you will die. You must exhale. Money is exactly the same. Inhale it and exhale it. Let it pass through you, leaving the fragrance of joy but no attachments. In this state of ultimate release, you become a master of life. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are the creator of your reality. And in that creation, there is only bliss, there is only silence, there is only the eternal dance of abundance. In this eternal dance of abundance, you come to realize that the universe is not a marketplace. It is not a place of business where you must trade your sweat, your tears, and your youth for a few coins. The universe is a vast organic family. It is a living, breathing entity, and you are not separate from it. You are a cell in this infinite cosmic body. Does the hand demand payment from the heart for the blood it receives? Does the eye charge the brain for the light it captures? No, there is a natural sharing. The hand works for the heart pumps for the hand. There is no transaction, only participation. This is the great shift in consciousness I am inviting you into, moving from a transactional relationship with life to a participatory one. When you participate in life, wealth is no longer something you extract from the world. It is something that flows through you as a natural consequence of your participation. But why, you may ask, is it so difficult for humanity to see this? Why is the world so deeply addicted to poverty, to struggle, to misery? Because the ego thrives on misery. This is a bitter truth, but you must swallow it if you want to be free. The ego cannot survive in joy. Joy is too vast, too expansive. In joy, the ego disappears. In bliss, there is no I. There is only the experience. But in misery, the I becomes very defined, very sharp, very heavy. When you are suffering, you feel very real. When you are the victim of financial struggle, your ego gets a great identity. You can tell your sad story to anyone who will listen. I work so hard, but the world is unfair. The rich are corrupt. I am poor but honest. This gives you a false sense of moral superiority. You begin to secretly cherish your poverty because it makes you feel like a martyr. Misery has a payoff. and that payoff is the ego. To drop your poverty, you have to drop your ego. You have to drop your victimhood. You have to drop the story of the struggler. Are you ready to be nobody? Are you ready to have no sad story to tell at dinner parties? Because the moment you drop the story of your struggle, abundance rushes in to fill the vacuum. But if you cling to your identity as a struggler, existence will say, Amen. Let him struggle. Existence always fulfills your deepest desire. If your deepest desire is to prove that the world is hard, the world will be hard. If your deepest desire is to prove that life is generous, life will be generous. You are the creator of your own prophecy. If you are ready to drop this heavy, painful story of the ego, I invite you to make a tangible commitment to your new reality. Click the join button and become a member of our community. Surround yourself with the frequency of those who are choosing joy over misery. And if these words are acting like a mirror showing you the parts of yourself you have kept in the dark, express your breakthrough with a super thanks. This is your way of telling the universe, I am ready for a new story. Look at the saints and the so-called spiritual leaders of the past. They glorified poverty. They taught you that the camel cannot pass through the eye of the needle, meaning the rich man cannot enter the kingdom of God. This has created a deep poison in the human psyche. It has created a split. If you want God, you must drop the world. If you want the world, you must forget God. This is absolute nonsense. This is the greatest crime committed against human consciousness. I teach you a holistic life. I teach you the synthesis of the outer and the inner. Be as rich as an emperor on the outside and be as silent as a Buddha on the inside. Why choose? Existence does not choose. The tree has deep roots in the dark earth and high branches in the bright sky. It does not choose. The deeper the roots go into the earth, the higher the branches reach into the sky. Your outer wealth is your roots. Your inner wealth is your branches. Do not be afraid of money. Do not condemn it. The moment you condemn it, you push it away. How can you attract a lover that you secretly despise? How can money come to you if you believe it is the root of all evil? Money is just a medium of exchange, a neutral energy. It is like a blank canvas. If a madman gets money, he will use it to destroy. If a Buddha gets money, he will use it to create a paradise. The money is innocent. Do not blame the money for the unconsciousness of man. Become conscious and then let money reign upon you. Then your money will become a blessing to the world. You will build, you will share, you will create beauty. Poverty does not help anyone. A poor man cannot even help himself. How can he help his neighbor? He is so consumed with his own survival that he has no energy left for love, for art, for meditation. First, be full. First, be overflowing. Only from your overflow can you truly serve existence. There is a beautiful story from the Sufi tradition. A man was walking down the street at night and saw his neighbor searching frantically under a street lamp. "What have you lost?" he asked. The neighbor said, "I have lost the keys to my house." So the man got down on his knees and started searching with him. After an hour of looking in the dirt, the man asked, "Are you sure you dropped them here?" "We have searched every inch." The neighbor replied, "No, I dropped them inside my house in the dark." The man was furious. "Then why are you looking out here under the street lamp?" The neighbor smiled and said, "Because there is no light inside my house. The light is out here." Humanity is doing the exact same thing. You have lost the keys to your happiness, your abundance, your peace inside yourself. But because it is dark inside, because you have never explored your own inner space, you are looking for the keys outside. You are looking for them under the street lamp of the marketplace, in the bank accounts, in the stock market, in the approval of society. You think if you just get more light on the outside, you will find the keys. But the keys are not there. They were never there. You can accumulate the whole world and you will still be standing locked out of your own house, shivering in the cold. The search must turn inward. You must bring the light of awareness into your own dark spaces. For this precise journey of turning the light inward, we have created the e-books available in the description. They are not theoretical philosophies. They are practical torches for your inner exploration. Download them, read them in silence, and let the light enter your house. And please interact with this energy. Hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't, and tell me in the comments, where have you been looking for your keys in the wrong place? Acknowledging the illusion is the first step of awakening. When you turn inward, you realize that time is another grand illusion that keeps you poor. The mind lives in time. The mind is always in the past, regretting what it lost, or in the future, fearing what it might not get. The mind says, one day when I have $1 million, then I will live in the present. Then I will enjoy the sunset. Then I will listen to the birds. This is the great postponement. Life is happening right now, in this very second. The sunset is right now. The bird is singing right now. Your breath is moving right now. If you cannot enjoy this moment, even when you have your millions, you will not be able to enjoy that moment either, because you have trained your mind to be in the future. The millionaire is also looking at the sunset, thinking about tomorrow's investments. He is as poor as the beggar. Both have missed the present. Abundance is a quality of the present moment. You cannot be abundant in the future. You can only be abundant now. Sit quietly, feel your body, feel the aliveness in your hands. Listen to the sounds around you. Feel the vastness of the space you occupy. In this exact moment, what is lacking? In this exact split second, what is missing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You are breathing. You are aware. You are alive. This is the ultimate richness. When you anchor yourself in the now, you stop the frantic rushing. And when you stop rushing, you become incredibly efficient. A person who is fully present does not waste energy on anxiety. He does one thing at a time, and he does it with totality. If he is sweeping the floor, he sweeps the floor like an emperor. If he is signing a business deal, he does it with the grace of a dancer. Because he is fully present, his actions are flawless, and flawless action naturally attracts success. The future-oriented mind is always clumsy. It makes mistakes because it is not here. It drops opportunities because it is looking at the horizon. It trips over the treasures at its feet because its eyes are fixed on the stars. Come back to the earth, come back to the now. This is where the magic happens. Existence is playful. The Hindu mystics call this universe Leela, which means the divine play. God did not create the world out of serious necessity. He created it out of overflowing joy, out of playfulness. Just as a child builds a sand castle on the beach, not to sell it, not to live in it, but just for the sheer joy of creation. When the wave comes and washes the castle away, the child is not depressed. He laughs and he starts building another one. This is the attitude of the master. You create wealth, you build businesses, you paint, you sing, you love, all as a play. You put your total energy into it, but you are not attached to the result. If the wave of the market comes and washes it away, you laugh. You say, "It was a beautiful game," and you start again. This lightness of being is what makes you invincible. The serious man is easily destroyed. One failure and he contemplates suicide. One loss of money and he has a heart attack. Why? Because he identified his soul with the sandcastle. He thought he was the sandcastle. But you are the creator, not the creation. Remember the symbol of the lotus I gave you earlier. It grows in the mud, yet remains untouched by it. It rises from the darkness, yet blooms in the light. The lotus teaches you that true richness is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to stay pure within. You can be in the marketplace surrounded by greed, competition, and madness, yet you can remain like the lotus, untouched, uncontaminated. To live like the lotus is the ultimate art. You do not run away to the forest. Only cowards run away. You stay in the world, you master the world, you create immense abundance, but you remember your true nature. You remember that you are the witness, you are the sky, and all the financial gains and losses are just clouds passing through you. Clouds come and go, the sky remains. When you achieve this lotus-like detachment, existence showers you with more than you can handle. Why? Because now you can be trusted. You are no longer greedy. Money cannot corrupt you. Power cannot make you arrogant. You have passed the ultimate test. You have found your center. And to the one who has found his center, the whole circumference of life becomes available. If you want to support the spreading of this lotus consciousness, use the join button below. By becoming a member, you are planting seeds of this wisdom in the collective mind of humanity. And whenever you feel a wave of gratitude for this clarity, send a super thanks. It keeps the wheel of Dharma turning. And do not forget to share this video. Do not keep the light to yourself. Share it with your friends, your family, your network. Let the fragrance of the lotus reach everyone. There is an old Zen story that perfectly illustrates this mastery. A Zen master, Hakuin, was praised by his neighbors as a man of pure, saintly living. A beautiful Japanese girl whose parents owned a food store lived near him. Suddenly, without any warning, her parents discovered she was pregnant. This made her parents angry. She would not confess who the man was, but after much harassment, she finally named Hakuin. In great anger, the parents went to the master. "You are a fraud," they shouted. "You have ruined our daughter." Hakuin listened silently and only said, "Is that so?" When the child was born, the parents brought the baby to Hakuin. By this time, he had lost his reputation. No one came to his temple anymore. People threw stones at him. He had lost his social wealth, his status, but Hakuin was completely undisturbed. He took great care of the child. He obtained milk from his neighbors and everything else the little one needed. He carried the baby with him wherever he went, completely at peace. A year later, the girl could not stand the guilt any longer. She confessed to her parents that the real father of the child was a young man who worked in the fish market. The parents were devastated. They rushed to Hakuin to apologize, to ask for his forgiveness, and to take the child back. "We are so sorry," they cried. "We took away your honor, your wealth, your students. Please forgive us." Hakuin simply handed the child back to them and said, "Is that so? This is the man of ultimate wealth. Reputation comes. Is that so? Reputation goes. Is that so? Wealth comes, is that so? Wealth goes, is that so? Nothing penetrates his core. Nothing disturbs his inner music. He is a king, whether he sits on a throne or holds a begging bowl. This is the state of being I want for you. I do not want you to just be rich in the bank. That is too small a goal. I want you to be a master of your destiny. I want you to be so anchored in your inner silence that no fluctuation in the market can make your heart skip a beat. When you have this inner stability, you naturally make the best financial decisions. You don't buy out of FOMO, the fear of missing out. You don't sell out of panic. You act from deep intuition. The greatest investors, the greatest creators, the greatest artists all operate from this space of inner stillness. They may not call it Zen, they may not call it spirituality, but it is the same source. You must drop the idea that spirituality and materiality are enemies. They are two wings of the same bird. You need both wings to fly. If you only focus on money, you will be a bird with only the right wing. You will flap your wing furiously, but you will only spin in circles on the ground. You will never know the heights of the sky. If you only focus on spirituality and neglect your material life, you will be a bird with only the left wing. Again, you will be crippled. You will depend on others for your survival. Use both wings. Meditate in the morning and do your business in the afternoon. Be a mystic in your heart and a master in the marketplace. Let your money be a manifestation of your love. Let your business be a channel for your creativity. When you integrate the two, you become a complete human being. You become Zorba the Buddha. Zorba loves the earth. He loves food. He loves wine. He loves dancing. He loves money. He enjoys the physical world to its fullest. The Buddha loves the sky. He loves silence. He loves meditation. He loves the eternal. My vision for you is to be Zorba the Buddha, to have your feet firmly planted on the earth, enjoying all the riches the earth has to offer, and to have your head in the stars, enjoying all the peace the divine has to offer. This integration is the cure for the sickness of the modern world. The modern world is split. That is why it is so neurotic. Heal the split within yourself. Welcome money into your life as a divine energy. Welcome silence into your life as a divine energy. When you do this, you will see that life is not a struggle, it is a gift. You don't have to conquer it, you just have to open the package. Every day is a new opening. Every breath is a new beginning. Do not wait for the perfect conditions to start living this way. The mind will say, I will be grateful when my debt is cleared. I will be peaceful when my business takes off. No, start being grateful now, and the debt will clear faster. Start being peaceful now, and the business will take off effortlessly. The inner state must precede the outer reality. Consciousness is the cause, the material world is the effect. Change the cause, and the effect has to change. It is a scientific law. Relax your shoulders right now. Unclench your jaw. Take a deep breath into your belly. Feel the life force moving through you. You are alive, you are here. You are part of this magnificent cosmos. If you are ready to walk this path of the integrated master, the Zorba, the Buddha, join our community. Click the join button. It is a declaration of your commitment to both inner and outer richness. Download the ebooks in the description to feed your mind with the right nutrients. Show your love with a super thanks and like this video so that the algorithm, this digital river, can carry this message to more thirsty souls. Comment below, I am the lotus. Let that be your mantra for today. No matter what mud you find yourself in, remember your capacity to bloom. As we continue on this journey, we will unravel even more of the subtle threads that weave the fabric of your reality. You are standing on the threshold of a new way of being. Do not step back into the old habits of fear. Step forward into the unknown with trust. The unknown is not to be feared. It is the only place where the new can happen. The known is the past. The known is your old struggles. Leave them behind. Step into the freshness of this moment. Let existence hold you. Let existence guide you. You are not alone. You have never been alone. The whole universe is breathing with you. The whole universe is breathing with you. You are not a separate drop fighting against the ocean. You are the ocean itself in a drop. And the moment you realize this, the very idea of poverty becomes absurd. How can the ocean be poor? How can the sky lack anything? You have just forgotten your vastness because you became too focused on the drop. You became too obsessed with the boundaries of your small identity, your name, your job, your bank account. You made your world so small that you suffocated your own spirit. Look at the trees. They do not know what a bank account is. They do not have insurance policies. They do not worry about the economy. Yet, they are deeply rooted, fully alive, and unconditionally provided for. The earth gives them nourishment. The sun gives them light. The wind carries their seeds. They are taken care of because they are in harmony with the whole. Humanity is the only species that has disconnected itself from this harmony. You have tried to create a separate empire of the ego, and in doing so, you have cut off the supply lines from the divine. This disconnection is the root of all your financial anxiety. You feel you have to do it all by yourself. I have to earn, I have to protect, I have to secure. This I is the heaviest burden you carry. Drop this I, surrender the illusion of the separate doer. You are not the doer, you are the channel. When you do business, let the universe do business through you. When you create, let existence create through you. When you shift from being the doer to being the witness, the channel, stress simply evaporates. Stress is the gap between what is and what you think should be. Stress is the friction of the ego trying to push the river. When you become the channel, there is no friction. You work, yes, and you may work very hard, but it does not feel like work. It feels like play. It feels like a dance. Have you ever watched a child at play? The child expends immense amounts of energy. He runs, he builds, he shouts, he falls. If you ask an accountant to measure the caloric output of the child, the accountant will say the child is working very hard. But the child is not tired, the child is energized. Why? Because there is no ego involved, there is no future goal. The child is not running to get somewhere. The running itself is the joy. The building of the toy tower is the joy. This is the secret of the masters of wealth. They approach their work like a child at play. They are deeply involved, but totally detached. They enjoy the process of creating value. They enjoy the strategy, the execution, the connection with people. And because they enjoy the process, the result naturally follows. Success is the shadow of joy. Money is the byproduct of value created with love. But you have reversed the equation. You hate the process and crave the result. You hate the work, but you want the money. You suffer through Monday to Friday, waiting for the weekend. You suffer through your youth, waiting for retirement. You are selling your life hour by hour for pieces of paper. This is the ultimate tragedy. You are trading the priceless for the cheap. If you want to stop this tragic trade, you must start loving your life today, not tomorrow, not when the conditions are perfect. Today, find the joy in your current reality. If you are sweeping streets, sweep them with such love, such grace, such meditation, that sweeping becomes a sacred art. If you are doing data entry, do it with absolute presence. Bring your full consciousness to the mundane, and the mundane will become magical. When you bring love to your work, the quality of your work transforms. People feel it, the universe feels it, and the rewards must increase. It is inevitable. The law of the universe is that whatever you give, you receive back multiplied. If you give boredom, resentment, and anxiety to your work, you will receive more situations that cause boredom, resentment, and anxiety. If you give love, creativity, and presence, you will receive abundance, appreciation, and wealth. If this message is striking the chord of truth in your being, I invite you to click the join button below. By joining our community, you step into a circle of consciousness where we remind each other of this playful nature of existence. You can also use super thanks if a particular insight has just liberated you from a burden of the mind. Your contributions are the lifeblood that allows this channel to keep producing these reminders for the world. Think about it. The very act of sharing and supporting is the act of the wealthy. The poor mind says, I will give when I have more. The rich mind says, I have so much that I must give. By using super thanks or sharing this video with a friend, you are acting from the position of the rich mind. You are proving to your own subconscious that you are in a state of overflow. This state of overflow is your natural birthright, but you have been hypnotized by the collective madness. The whole society is geared towards making you feel inadequate. The advertising industry spends billions of dollars every year just to make you feel that you are not enough. You don't have this car, so you are a nobody. You don't wear this perfume, so you are unlovable. You don't have this bank balance, so you are insecure. They create a psychological itch and then they sell you the scratch. And you keep scratching, but the itch only grows deeper. This is the consumerist trap. You consume things to fill an inner void, but material things can never fill a spiritual void. You can buy the biggest mansion on the planet, and if your inner space is cluttered with fear, you will be miserable in a big mansion. You will just be crying in a more expensive bed. The void inside you can only be filled by one thing: awareness. Awareness is the light that dispels the darkness of the void. When you become aware of your own divine nature, the void disappears. You realize you are complete, you are whole. From this place of wholeness, you can still buy the mansion, you can still buy the car. I am not against beautiful things. I love beauty, live in a beautiful house, wear beautiful clothes, enjoy the luxuries of life, but do it from a place of wholeness, not from a place of lack. Do it to celebrate your abundance, not to hide your poverty. When a rich consciousness acquires wealth, the wealth becomes a tool for expanding consciousness. Such a person creates beauty around them. They support art, they support nature, they support the awakening of others. When a poor consciousness acquires wealth, the wealth becomes a weapon. They use it to dominate, to show off, to create envy. The difference is not in the money. The difference is in the consciousness. You must focus on upgrading your consciousness, not just upgrading your lifestyle. If you upgrade your lifestyle without upgrading your consciousness, you are just painting a tomb. It may look nice on the outside, but inside there is only death. To upgrade your consciousness, you need right understanding. You need to deprogram your mind from the centuries of conditioning. This is why we have created the ebooks linked in the description. They are deep transformative tools designed to wash away the dust of the society from your inner mirror. I urge you to get them, read them slowly, and let them do their work on your psyche. And as you do, drop a comment below, share your journey. What is the biggest financial illusion you have busted today? Let us look deeper into this illusion of control. You think you are managing your life. You think your efforts are keeping the roof over your head. But look closely. In the night when you are fast asleep, who is beating your heart? Who is digesting your food? Who is growing your hair? Who is keeping the earth spinning around the sun so that you don't freeze in the absolute cold of space? You are being taken care of by a vast, infinite intelligence. You are not running the show. The moment you realize this, a great weight falls off your shoulders. You can relax, you can trust. Trust is the ultimate attractor of wealth. Trust means you know that whatever happens is for your highest evolution. If money comes, it is a blessing. If money goes, it is a lesson. And lessons are often more valuable than blessings. If you lose your money but you gain wisdom, you are richer than before. If you keep your money but you lose your peace of mind, you are poorer than before. The man of trust welcomes everything. He is like the ocean. Rivers of success flow into him, and he does not overflow. Rivers of failure flow into him, and he does not dry up. He absorbs everything. He transforms everything into depth. When you have this kind of trust, you become fearless in your creative endeavors. You are not afraid to launch that new business, to write that book, to share that art, because you are not attached to the outcome. You are doing it for the joy of expression. And ironically, this very fearlessness is what guarantees your success. The marketplace responds to boldness. It responds to authenticity. It responds to the energy of someone who is not desperate for approval. Desperation is the worst perfume you can wear. It drives away customers. It drives away lovers. It drives away opportunities. Desperation says, I am empty, feed me, and nobody wants to be drained. Trust is the most beautiful perfume. It says, I am full, come share my feast. And everyone wants to join a feast. Become the feast. Become the host of life. Stop being a guest, always waiting to be served. Serve, give, pour yourself out. There is an ancient law. Nature abhors a vacuum. If you want to receive new energy, new money, new ideas, you must create a vacuum. You must empty yourself, share what you have, give away your money, give away your knowledge, give away your love. The more you empty yourself, the more the universe rushes in to fill you. This is the breath of the cosmos. Exhale fully, and the inhalation happens on its own. If you try to hold your breath, if you try to hoard the air in your lungs, you will die. Hoarding is death. Circulation is life. Money is called currency because it must flow like a current. If you dam the current, the water becomes stagnant. It breeds disease. The money in the hands of the miser is stagnant water. It breeds anxiety, suspicion, and greed. The money in the hands of the wise is a flowing river. It nourishes the fields, it quenches the thirst of the traveler, and it eventually merges with the ocean. Be the river, do not be the dam. If you are enjoying this flow, let the current move through you. Click the join button, use super thanks, buy the ebooks, like the video, comment, share. Do not be a passive consumer of wisdom, be an active participant in the Dharma. When you participate, you learn. When you just listen, you forget. The mind is a sieve, it loses everything. But when you act, when you involve your energy, the wisdom sinks into your cells. We are talking about a total transformation of your being, not a quick fix, not a 10-step plan to get rich quick. Those are for children. I am talking to the mature soul within you. I am talking about living a life of such immensity that money becomes a trivial detail, a shadow that naturally follows your luminous presence. This requires courage, the courage to drop the familiar miseries, the courage to step out of the herd. The herd is running in a panic, chasing the golden carrot. To step out of the herd and stand still requires immense courage. People will call you crazy. They will say you are losing the race, but you know that the race itself is madness. There is nowhere to go. You are already here. The goal is not in the future. The goal is in the depth of the present. Dive deep into this moment. Plunge into your own being. Discover the inner kingdom. Jesus said, "Seek ye first the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you." He was speaking the exact same truth. The kingdom of God is not a place in the clouds. It is your own inner consciousness. It is your own state of relaxed awareness. Seek this first. Make your inner peace your absolute priority. Compromise on everything else, but do not compromise on your peace. If a job destroys your peace, leave it. If a relationship destroys your peace, leave it. If a desire destroys your peace, drop it. Nothing is worth your peace of mind, because from your peace of mind, all other things are generated. Peace is the soil from which the tree of abundance grows. If you destroy the soil to get the fruit, you will end up with neither. Nourish the soil. Meditate, relax, dance, laugh, celebrate. Make your life a festival. When your life is a festival, money wants to be invited. Money loves a good party. It avoids the graveyards of the serious minds. It avoids the heavy hearts. It flows towards the light, the music, the laughter. Be the celebration, and you will never lack the resources to sustain it. I want to remind you that your support is the fuel that keeps this festival going. The join button is your ticket to the inner circle of this celebration. Super thanks is your applause, your expression of joy. And the ebooks in the description are the party favors, the gifts you take home to continue the dance. Remember, you are not here to survive, you are here to thrive. You are the universe becoming aware of itself. You are the divine manifesting in form. Act like it, walk like it, breathe like it, drop the beggar's bowl, claim your crown. To claim your crown is to recognize that you were never meant to crawl. You were meant to soar. But society has clipped your wings and convinced you that walking with a heavy burden is the only noble way to live. This is the great deception. From the moment you enter the schooling system, you are trained to be a worker, not a creator. You are trained to memorize, to repeat, to follow the rules, and to compete with your fellow brothers and sisters for a few scraps of the pie. The entire educational system is designed to manufacture obedient cogs for the economic machine. It is not designed to awaken the giant within you. When you awaken, you realize that the pie is not limited. The universe is not a bakery with a limited amount of flour. The universe is an expanding reality. The more you create, the more the pie expands. There is no need to fight anyone for your share. In fact, competition is the ultimate sign of a deeply impoverished mind. A true master never competes. Why would he? He is completely unique. You are completely unique. There is no one else in the universe with your exact vibration, your exact gifts, your exact perspective. How can you compete with anyone? A rose does not compete with a lotus. The rose simply blooms as a rose. The lotus simply blooms as a lotus. Both are magnificent. The garden is rich because of their uniqueness. But you have forgotten your uniqueness. You are trying to be someone else. You are trying to copy the success of another. You look at the billionaires, the celebrities, the influencers, and you think, if I can just do what they did, I will be rich. This is the path of sorrow. You cannot walk someone else's path. If you try, you will only be a second-rate copy, and existence does not reward copies. Existence loves originality. It rewards the authentic. It rewards the one who dares to be themselves, nakedly, unapologetically. Your wealth is hidden in your authenticity. The very things that make you weird, the very things that make you different, the very passions that society told you were useless, those are the keys to your kingdom. That is your genius. Uncover it, polish it, offer it to the world. When you offer your true self to the world responds with immense gratitude, and that gratitude manifests as financial abundance. But this requires immense trust. It is easy to follow the crowd. It feels safe to be part of the herd. The herd gives you a false sense of security. If everyone is doing the same job, saving for the same pension, living the same predictable life, you feel you are not alone in your misery. Misery loves company. To step out of the herd is a lonely journey at first. You will be misunderstood. Your family will worry about you. Your friends will say you are irresponsible. They will tell you to be realistic. Be realistic is the anthem of the spiritually dead. Reality is not a fixed thing. Reality is what you create. The people who tell you to be realistic have already given up on their own dreams, and they want you to give up on yours, so they don't have to face the mirror of your courage. If you are currently facing this loneliness, if you are currently standing at the edge of the herd, looking out into the vast unknown, I invite you to make this space your new home. Click the join button and enter a community of fellow pioneers, the brave souls who are choosing consciousness over conformity. If this message is validating the deepest whispers of your heart, use the super thanks feature to cement this energetic shift. You are not alone. You are just leaving the graveyard. The journey to true abundance is a journey of unlearning. You do not need to learn a new financial strategy. There are thousands of strategies. They all work and they all fail. They work for the one who has the right energy, and they fail for the one who has the wrong energy. You need to unlearn the programs of scarcity that were downloaded into your subconscious mind before you were even 7 years old. Look at your family history. What was the relationship with money in your house? Was there constant fighting over bills? Was money spoken of with fear? Was rich people condemned as greedy? You absorbed all of this. It went deep into your cells. It became your financial karma. Karma is not a punishment from God. Karma is simply the unconscious repetition of past patterns. If your father believed that money is hard to get, you will automatically recreate situations where money is hard to get just to remain loyal to your father's reality. This is an unconscious, blind loyalty. Children would rather be miserable and belong to the family than be successful and be the outcast. You must break this ancestral chain. You must realize that you are not your parents. You are not your past. You are a new phenomenon. You have the power to rewrite the script. How do you rewrite it? Through awareness. The next time you feel that familiar contraction in your stomach when you have to pay a bill, stop. Do not run away from the feeling. Do not distract yourself. Look at the contraction. Say to it, I see you. You are the fear of my ancestors. You are the memory of the past. But you are not my truth. My truth is abundance. Breathe into the contraction. Let the light of your awareness penetrate it. In the light of awareness, the shadow of the past dissolves. This is real meditation. Meditation is not just sitting with your eyes closed in a quiet room. Meditation is bringing light to the dark corners of your daily life. When you pay your bills, do it with a smile. Do it with gratitude. Say, thank you, existence, that I have the resources to use electricity. Thank you that I have running water. Thank you for the service this company provides me. When you pay with gratitude, you are changing your financial karma. You are turning a transaction into a prayer. Money that leaves your hand with gratitude returns to you multiplied. Money that leaves your hand with fear creates a block. This simple practice will revolutionize your life. But you have to remember, the mind is a creature of habit. It will pull you back into the old worries. That is why repetition is needed. That is why you need to immerse yourself in the frequency of truth until the truth becomes your second nature. This is the purpose of the e-books linked in the description below. They are not just information. Information is cheap. The internet is full of it. They are energetic transmissions. They are designed to be read again and again to keep you aligned when the world tries to pull you back into the mud. Download them. Read a chapter every morning before you touch your phone. Let the first frequency of the day be the frequency of abundance. And as you practice this, you will notice something beautiful. The world will start responding to your new vibration. You will bump into a stranger who gives you the exact piece of advice you needed. A phone call will come with an unexpected offer. A solution to a long-standing problem will just pop into your mind while you are taking a shower. This is what Carl Jung calls synchronicity. Synchronicity is the universe winking at you. It is the universe saying, I hear you. You are on the right track. Synchronicity only happens to the relaxed mind. The anxious mind is too busy forcing things to notice the subtle winks of the universe. The anxious mind is trying to break down the front door while the universe has left the back door wide open. Relaxation is the master key. I cannot repeat this enough because you cannot hear it enough. You are addicted to tension. Tension has become your normal state. You think if you are not tense, you are being irresponsible. You think worry is a form of love. I worry about my business because I care about it. No. Worry is a destructive energy. It creates the very reality you are trying to avoid. If you truly care about your business, bless it, trust it, pour your love into it, but do not worry about it. Worrying is like praying for what you don't want. Switch your prayer. Pray for what you do want and do it with the feeling of already having it. This is the secret of the mystics. Jesus said, whatever you ask for in prayer, believe that you have received it and it will be yours. Notice the tense, believe that you have received it, past tense, not that you will receive it in the future. If you ask for abundance from a state of lack, the universe hears the lack. You must enter the state of abundance first. How? By realizing that abundance is an inner quality. Close your eyes for a moment, feel the silence inside you. Is the silence poor? Does the silence lack anything? No. The silence is infinitely rich. It is full of potential. Out of this silence, all the music of the world is born. Out of this emptiness, all the forms of the universe are created. The Buddhist masters call this shunyata, emptiness. But it is not a negative emptiness. It is a pregnant emptiness. It is the womb of creation. When you touch this inner emptiness, you touch the source of all wealth. You become connected to the unlimited bank account of the cosmos. From this place, action is born. But it is a different kind of action. It is inspired action. The root of the word inspire means in spirit. When you act from the spirit, you are not acting from the ego's fear of survival. You are acting from the divine urge to express. The painter paints because the beauty is overflowing inside him. He does not paint to pay the rent, but the rent gets paid and the mansion gets bought because his art carries the vibration of the divine. The entrepreneur builds a business because he has a vision that will improve people's lives. He does not do it just for the profits, but the profits come like a tidal wave because he is serving the whole. This is the shift from the ego economy to the soul economy. The ego economy is based on scarcity, competition, and exploitation. The soul economy is based on abundance, collaboration, and service. The ego economy is dying. You can see it all around you. The old structures of greed are collapsing. The financial systems built on debt and delusion are trembling. This is not a catastrophe. This is a rebirth. The universe is clearing the stage for a new way of living, a conscious capitalism, a spiritual economy. You have the opportunity to be the pioneers of this new world, but you cannot enter the new world with the old mind. You must shed the old skin. If you are ready to shed the old skin, use the comment section as your declaration. Write, I release the struggle. Just writing it, putting it out into the digital ether is a psycho-magical act. It sends a signal to your subconscious. And if you want to support the building of this new consciousness, hit the join button. Send a super thanks. Share this video with 10 people who you know are secretly drowning in the old economy of fear. You have the power to be a beacon of light in your family, in your workplace, in your community, but the beacon must first be lit from within. There is a story of a great Sufi master, Hassan. He was sitting by the river and a rich merchant came to him. The merchant was crying. He said, Master, my ships have sunk in the storm. All my wealth is gone. I am ruined. What should I do? Hassan looked at the river and said, Look at the water. It flows. It does not stop for the fallen leaves. It does not stop for the sunken ships. It just flows. Be like the water. The merchant was confused. But my money is gone. Hassan smiled and said, Your money is gone, but your capacity to create it is still with you. The stone took your cargo, but it could not take your intelligence. It could not take your energy. It could not take your relationship with the divine. Go and build new ships. And this time, do not put your soul in the cargo. This is the ultimate teaching. Do not put your soul in the cargo. Do not invest your identity in the fluctuating markets of the world. Invest your identity in the eternal. When you know who you really are, the immortal, invincible spirit, no storm can touch you. You become the master of the storm. You use the winds of adversity to sail faster. I want to take you to the very core of this fear, to the root of the tree of poverty. The root of all financial fear is the fear of death. Trace it back. Why are you afraid of losing your job? Because you won't have money. Why are you afraid of not having money? Because you won't be able to buy food and shelter. Why are you afraid of losing food and shelter? Because your body will die. Ultimately, every financial panic is a survival panic. It is the ego's terror of extinction. But you are not the body. The body is just the garment you are wearing for this lifetime. The body will die anyway. Whether you are the richest man in the world or the poorest, death is the great equalizer. It takes away the mansion and the cardboard box with equal indifference. When you realize that you are the eternal consciousness, the fear of death disappears. And with the fear of death, the fear of poverty vanishes. You are invincible. Fire cannot burn you. Water cannot drown you. Bankruptcy cannot destroy you. You are the witness of it all. When you operate from this invincibility, you become a force of nature. You take risks that the fearful mind would never take. You invest in ideas that the logical mind would call crazy. You trust your intuition when the whole world is telling you to doubt. And existence loves this boldness. Existence rushes to support the fearless. Think of the eagle. The eagle does not worry about where its next meal will come from. It does not build a bank account of dead mice. It trusts its wings. It trusts its eyes. It trusts the wind. It soars high above the storms, while the little birds are hiding in the bushes, terrified of the rain. The eagle uses the storm winds to fly even higher. Be the eagle of consciousness. Do not be the little bird of the ego, pecking at the dirt, fighting over crumbs. You have the wings of the divine within you. Spread them. Trust the wind. This requires a daily practice of centering. You cannot listen to this once and expect your life to change forever. The hypnosis of the world is too strong. You will walk out of your house, you will see a billboard, you will turn on the news, and the fear will rush back in. That is why I insist on community. That is why I ask you to subscribe, to click the join button, to use the super thanks, to read the e-books. It is not for me, I need nothing. It is for you. It is to create a shield of awareness around you. It is to keep the flame alive in the heavy winds of the unconscious world. Every time you engage with this frequency, you are strengthening your wings. You are reminding yourself of the eagle within. Let us go deeper into the mechanics of this attraction. The universe is a gigantic mirror, but it does not reflect your face. It reflects your state. If you stand in front of a mirror with a sad face, the mirror shows a sad face. If you want the mirror to smile, you cannot force the reflection to smile. You cannot paint a smile on the glass. That is what you are trying to do when you try to change the outside world without changing the inside. You are painting on the mirror. If you want the mirror to smile, you must smile first. The reflection will follow instantly. If you want the universe to show you abundance, you must embody abundance first. How do you embody abundance when your bank account is empty? You do it through your posture. Walk like a king. You do it through your speech. Speak with certainty and grace. You do it through your generosity. Give a compliment. Give a smile. Give your full attention to the person in front of you. Attention is the most valuable currency in the modern world. In a world where everyone is distracted, where everyone is looking at their screens, to give someone your pure, undivided attention is the act of a billionaire. It says, I am so rich in time and peace that I can give you my entire universe for this moment. When you give this kind of attention, people are drawn to you. They don't know why, but they feel energized in your presence. They want to work with you, they want to be around you. Money and opportunities are simply the physical manifestations of this energetic attraction. Everything starts in the invisible and moves to the visible. The roots are invisible, the fruits are visible. You are obsessed with the fruits, but you neglect the roots. Nourish the roots, nourish your inner silence, nourish your joy, nourish your trust. The fruits will take care of themselves. I am inviting you to the ultimate rebellion. The rebellion against misery. The rebellion against the belief that you are a victim. You are the master. Take responsibility for your reality. No more blaming the government. No more blaming the economy. No more blaming your parents. The moment you blame, you give your power away to the thing you are blaming. You make yourself a slave. Take your power back. Say, I am the creator of my experience. If I have created scarcity in the past, it was because I was asleep. Now I am awake, and I choose abundance. This choice is a sacred act. It shifts the entire cosmos. When one person wakes up, the whole web of human consciousness is elevated. Your wealth is not just for you. Your abundance is needed by the world. We need conscious people with immense resources. We need spiritual masters who can fund the new paradigm. Do not shrink from wealth. Expand into it. Claim it as your divine instrument for transformation. And as you claim it, stay soft. Do not become rigid. Flow like the river. The river reaches the ocean not because it fights the rocks, but because it embraces them, flows around them, and continues on its path. Be soft in your approach, but absolute in your trust. Be soft in your approach, but absolute in your trust. Softness is not weakness. This is another grand illusion of the modern mind. You think softness is for the defeated. You think to win in the financial world, you must be hard, you must be a rock, you must be ruthless. But look at nature. Look at the ultimate battle between the soft and the hard. Look at the water and the rock. The rock is hard, the rock is rigid. The rock says, I will not yield. The water is soft. The water is fluid. The water has no fixed shape. It yields, it surrenders. But if you wait for 1,000 years, the rock has become sand and the water is still flowing. The soft overcomes the hard. This is the supreme law of Tao. Lao Tzu understood this. I am simply translating it into the language of the modern marketplace. To be soft means to be adaptable. The marketplace is dynamic. The economy is changing every single day. Technologies are shifting. Human desires are evolving. If you are rigid like the rock, if you say, I will only do business this way because this is how my grandfather did it, you will be broken. The rigid tree breaks in the storm. The bamboo bends, lets the storm pass, and then springs back to its full height. Be the bamboo in your financial life. Be fluid. If an opportunity closes, flow around it like water. Do not stand there banging your head against the closed door. The universe is vast. If one door closes, it means that direction was no longer serving your highest good. The water does not cry when it hits a boulder. It laughs, finds a new path, and continues its journey to the ocean. Your ocean is abundance. Your ocean is the ultimate freedom of your soul. Keep flowing towards it. When you embody this softness, you stop resisting life. Resistance is the only thing that creates pain. Pain is not in the event. Pain is in your resistance to the event. You lose your job, that is an event. It is neutral. But your mind says, this should not have happened. This is unfair. I am doomed. That is the resistance. And from that resistance, psychological suffering is born. If you are soft, if you are fluid, you look at the loss of the job and you say, is that so? The universe has cleared my schedule. The universe has pushed me out of a comfort zone that was making my soul rot. What is the new adventure? You turn the crisis into a breakthrough. The successful person is not the one who never faces crisis. The successful person is the alchemist who turns every crisis into gold. And you cannot do this alchemy if your mind is tense with fear. You can only do it from a state of deep relaxation and trust. Trusting life's intelligence allows you to move with existence instead of against it. Nothing here is magical. It is entirely natural. You are part of nature. I want to invite you to deepen this softness right now. Drop the hardness in your shoulders. Drop the hardness in your breath. If you are feeling the soothing power of this truth, please use the join button to become a member of our sanctuary. By joining, you are choosing to stay in this stream of softness in a world that pushes you to be hard. And if a particular realization just melted a block inside you, send a super thanks. It is the beautiful act of water acknowledging water. It is flow recognizing flow. When you flow, your creativity expands. The hard mind is repetitive. It knows only the past. It uses the solutions of yesterday for the problems of today. The soft mind is innovative. It is receptive to the whispers of the cosmos. In the new economy, in this new age of consciousness, manual labor will be blessed. Artificial intelligence, machines, algorithms, they will do the hard work. They will do the repetitive work. What will be left for the human? Only one thing: consciousness, creativity, love, empathy. The future belongs to the creators, not to the workers. The future belongs to those who can connect dots in ways no algorithm ever could. The future belongs to the dreamers who can feel the pulse of humanity and offer something of genuine beauty. If you are just a cog in the machine, you will be replaced, and you should be replaced. You were not born to be a cog. You were born to be a creator. Wake up your inner creator. How? By giving yourself space. You are too busy. You are addicted to busyness. Busyness is the ultimate defense mechanism of the ego. If you are busy, you don't have to face the emptiness of your life. If you are busy, you don't have to ask the difficult questions. Who am I? Why am I here? What is the meaning of this frantic running? Stop. Sit in silence. Do nothing. The Western mind panics at the thought of doing nothing. Time is money, they say. What an idiotic statement. Time is not money. Time is life. Money can be replaced. Time cannot be replaced. If you spend your time chasing money in a state of stress, you are burning your life force. When you sit in silence, when you allow yourself to be bored, something magical happens. The superficial layers of the mind settle down, and from the depths of your being, original ideas begin to bubble up. Intuition begins to speak. The $1 million idea does not come from the noisy mind. The $1 million idea comes from the silent gap between the thoughts. All great scientists, all great artists, all great visionaries know this. Einstein did not discover the theory of relativity by crunching numbers in a state of stress. He discovered it by daydreaming, by looking at the stars, by playing the violin. In that state of relaxed playfulness, the universe downloaded the insight into his receptive mind. Make space for the download. If your life is too cluttered, you cannot receive. Declutter your physical space, declutter your digital space, declutter your mind. This is why I repeatedly urge you to read the ebooks linked in the description. They are tools for mental decluttering. They help you sweep away the debris of society's expectations so that the pure voice of your own intuition can be heard. Download them today and begin the clearing. And as you create this space, as you become silent and receptive, you will notice a change in your desires. The desires of the ego are always born out of lack. I need this new car to prove to my high school friends that I am successful. I need this promotion to make my father proud. These are toxic desires. Even if you achieve them, they will leave a bad taste in your mouth. They will not nourish your soul. When you are silent, the desires of the soul begin to surface. The soul does not desire to prove anything. The soul desires to express, I want to create this music because the melody is haunting me. I want to start this community garden because I love seeing things grow. I want to build this software because it will bring people together. When you act on the desires of the soul, the universe puts its entire weight behind you. Synchronicities explode. The right people show up. Doors fly open. Money becomes a byproduct of your joy. Money is not the master. Money is a servant. And it is a beautiful servant when it is in the hands of a master. But you have become the servant, and money has become the master. Overthrow this tyranny. You must understand the psychology of the master. The master does not chase, the master sits on his throne, and the kingdom serves him. Your throne is your center. Your throne is your awareness. When you are centered, you radiate a frequency of completeness. You are no longer sending out the desperate signal of I need. You are sending out the royal signal of I am. Existence loves the I am. It bows down to the I am. Listen to me carefully. Poverty is not your destiny. Poverty is a learned condition. It is a virus that was transmitted to you by the culture, but you have an immune system. Your immune system is your awareness. The moment the light of awareness hits the virus of poverty, the virus dies. Poverty cannot survive in the light of consciousness because poverty is a lie. It is the lie of limitation. The truth of existence is boundlessness. Look up at the night sky. Count the stars. Can you? There are billions of galaxies, each with billions of stars. The universe does not do things in half measures. It is extravagant. It is overflowing. And the same force that created those billions of galaxies created you. Do you think the force that created the Milky Way is incapable of paying your rent? Do you think the force that sustains the oceans is unable to fund your dream project? It is laughable. The limitation is only in your mind. You have put a tiny bucket under a waterfall and you are complaining that you don't have enough water. Throw away the bucket. Jump into the waterfall. Immerse yourself in the abundance. And the first step to immersing yourself is to change your vocabulary. Words are spells. When you say, I am broke, you are casting a dark spell on yourself. Your subconscious mind hears the command, I am broke, and it immediately goes to work to create a reality that proves you are broke. It filters out opportunities. It makes you blind to solutions. Never say, I am broke. Say, I am in a transitional phase. Say, my wealth is currently accumulating in the invisible realm. Say, I am learning the art of receiving. Words have power. Vibration has power. Change the conversation around the dinner table. Stop complaining about the economy with your friends. When you sit with people and complain about how bad things are, you are engaging in a group meditation on poverty. You are reinforcing the very grid you want to escape. If you are looking for a new conversation, a new grid to plug into, the join button is your access point. Become a member and connect with the minds that are meditating on abundance. If you want to reinforce your own new vocabulary of wealth, leave a comment below. I am a creator of abundance. Writing it is claiming it. And as you claim it, let go of the timetable. This is where many of you stumble. You do the inner work. You meditate. You change your words. And then you look at your watch. Osho, I have been positive for 3 days. Where is my $1 million? This is the sneaky return of the ego. The ego wants to control the when and the how. The ego wants to dictate the terms to the universe. Surrender the when. Surrender the how. You do the work on the inner plane. You align your vibration. You take inspired action in the outer world. And then you drop the result. You give the result to the divine. Maybe the wealth will come through your business. Maybe it will come through a gift. Maybe it will come through an idea that strikes you while walking the dog. The universe has infinite channels. Do not limit the universe by insisting that the money must come through channel A or channel B. When you fixate on the how, you close yourself off to the miracles. Miracles happen in the space of the unknown. Trust the timing of your life. The tree drops its fruit only when it is ripe. If you force the fruit to drop prematurely, it will be bitter. Existence knows your perfect timing. Maybe you need to develop more character before the millions arrive. Maybe you need to develop more humility. If a person with a massive ego gets a massive amount of money, the money will destroy them. It will amplify their arrogance. It will isolate them. The universe is compassionate. Sometimes it withholds the money to save your soul. Grow your container first. Grow your capacity to hold energy. Money is high voltage electricity. If you plug a tiny light bulb into a nuclear power plant, the bulb will shatter. You must upgrade your wiring. Upgrading your wiring means expanding your heart, deepening your meditation, and expanding your capacity for joy. The happier you can be with nothing, the safer it is for the universe to give you everything. Let me repeat that. The happier you can be with nothing, the safer it is for the universe to give you everything. Because then the money will not distort you. You will use it. You will enjoy it. But your identity will not be attached to it. Be happy now. Be grateful now. And in this state of gratitude, you will find that giving becomes your second nature. Giving is the ultimate hack to the matrix of abundance. The ego says, I will give when I have. The soul says, I have because I give. When you give, you are sending a subconscious signal to your own mind that you are rich. A beggar cannot give. Only a king can give. So when you give, even if it is just a small coin, a cup of coffee, or a word of encouragement, you are occupying the position of the king. The mind observes this and thinks, we are giving. We must be rich. And the mind starts shifting its frequency to match this new belief. Give constantly. Give your smiles. Give your knowledge. If you are good at something, Teach it. Don't hoard your wisdom. The more you teach, the more the wisdom integrates into your own being. This is the principle behind the super thanks. It is not a tip. It is a declaration of your own royal status. It is you saying, I am a source of giving. Liking and sharing this video is you being a broadcaster of light. Do not underestimate the power of these digital actions. In the quantum field, your intention behind the click is what matters. If you share this video with the intention of liberating another soul, you generate immense positive karma. Karma is the echo of the universe. What you shout into the canyon of existence bounces back to you. Shout love, shout abundance, shout freedom. And as you shout freedom, you will notice that the very people you used to envy become your allies. Envy is a disease. When you envy the rich, you are secretly condemning wealth. You cannot attract what you condemn. If you look at a wealthy person and think, he must have cheated, he is probably miserable. You are telling your subconscious that wealth is evil. Your subconscious will then protect you from becoming wealthy because it wants you to be good. Bless the rich. Celebrate their success. When you see someone driving your dream car, don't get jealous. Get excited. Say, look at that. The universe is showing me that my dream is possible. Bless that person. May they enjoy their car. When you bless what you want, you align with it. You invite it into your reality. The world is abundant enough for everyone to win. Your success does not require anyone else's failure. That is the old paradigm. The new paradigm is co-creation. We rise together. This channel is a space of co-creation. You are not just passive listeners. Your energy, your comments, your financial support through the join button, all of this creates a vortex, and everyone who enters this vortex gets uplifted. I want you to feel this upliftment in your bones. Shake off the dust of your doubts. You are a divine being, having a temporary human experience. The divine does not do poverty. The divine does not do lack. Reclaim your divine heritage. Let the money come. Open the doors. Open the windows. Let the breeze of abundance flow through your life. And as it flows, use it to make this world a little more beautiful, a little more conscious, a little more loving. Money is not the end. Love is the end. Consciousness is the end. Money is just the fertilizer for the garden of your life. If the fertilizer is withheld, it stinks. If the fertilizer is spread across the garden, it produces magnificent flowers. Spread your wealth, spread your joy. Be the flower that blooms without asking for permission. I leave you with this meditation for the week. Every morning, when you open your eyes before you look at your phone, put your hand on your heart and say, I am open to receive, I am open to give, I am one with the infinite flow. Do this for 21 days and watch the miracles unfold. And remember, if you want the blueprint for this 21-day transformation, the ebooks in the description hold the daily practices and the deep philosophical roots to ground your experience. Download them and begin the real work. I am with you. Existence is with you. Relax, trust, allow. Allow. It is a very small word, but it contains the entire secret of the cosmos. To allow is to be free. To allow is to drop the heavy armor of the ego that you have been carrying for so many lifetimes. You think this armor protects you. You think your anxiety is your shield. You think your constant calculation is what keeps you alive. But look at your life. Has this armor brought you peace? Has this shield brought you love? Has this calculation brought you the immense overflowing abundance that your soul secretly yearns for? No, it has only brought you exhaustion. It has only brought you a life that feels like a waiting room, always waiting for the real life to begin. The real life begins the exact moment you allow it to begin. It does not begin when the bank account reaches a certain number. If you are waiting for the money to give you permission to live, you will die waiting. Money is a follower, not a leader. It follows your aliveness. If you are half dead with stress, why would the energy of abundance want to be with you? Abundance loves life. It is drawn to vitality, to laughter, to movement, to the dance. You must become the dance. You ask me, but Osho, how can I dance when the bills are unpaid, when the creditors are calling, when the market is crashing? This is the ultimate test. This is where spirituality ceases to be a philosophy and becomes a lived reality. Can you dance in the storm? Can you find your inner center when the periphery is in chaos? If you can only be happy when everything is secure. Your happiness is very cheap. It is dependent. It is a slave to circumstances. And the world is inherently insecure. The economy will always fluctuate. Governments will rise and fall. Relationships will change. Bodies will age. Insecurity is the very nature of the physical world. If you fight insecurity, you fight life, and you cannot win against life. Life is too vast. But if you embrace insecurity, if you say, yes, the future is unknown, and that is its beauty, then a great weight lifts. You realize that the unknown is not a dark abyss, it is a field of infinite potentiality. In the known, there is only the repetition of the past. In the unknown, miracles are possible. So when the bills are unpaid, do what is necessary on the outer level. Make the phone calls, do the work, look for the solutions, but do not let the anxiety penetrate your inner core. Remain untouched. Be the witness. Watch the drama of your financial life like you watch a movie. In a movie, there is tragedy, there is comedy, there is suspense. You enjoy it because you know you are sitting in the theater seat, safe and sound. You are not the character on the screen. You are the consciousness watching the movie of your life. The bank account belongs to the character. The debts belong to the character. The social status belongs to the character. You are the watcher. When you establish yourself as the watcher, the grip of fear is broken. And the moment fear is broken, your intelligence is liberated. Now you can see the solutions that were hidden by your panic. Now you can see the opportunities that were right in front of your eyes. This is what I mean by practical spirituality. It is not about escaping to the Himalayas. It is about using the marketplace as your temple. If you are resonating with this radical shift in perspective, if you are tired of the old way of suffering through life, I invite you to click the join button and become a pillar of this community. By joining, you are investing your energy into the new consciousness. If this message has just given you a sigh of relief, use the super thanks to honor that relief. And please do not just consume this, engage with it. Comment below, I am the watcher. Let this be your anchor when the storms of the mind try to pull you back. Remember, the mind is a survival mechanism. It is hardwired for the jungle. In the jungle, fear kept you alive. If you heard a noise in the bushes, you ran. But you are no longer in the jungle. A drop in the stock market is not a tiger. An unpaid bill is not a predator. But the primitive brain cannot tell the difference. It reacts with the same fight or flight adrenaline. You must educate your brain. You must bring the light of consciousness to these primitive reactions. When the financial fear arises, stop. Do not move, just watch the fear. Feel the sensations in your body. Breathe deeply into the belly. Send a signal to your nervous system that you are safe, because in this present moment you are safe, you are breathing, you are alive. Once the nervous system relaxes, the brain shifts from the primitive survival mode to the higher creative mode. This is where the magic happens. In the creative mode, you are connected to the universal intelligence. Think of a musician. When a musician is learning to play the flute, he is tense. He is looking at the notes, counting the beats, worrying about making a mistake. The music is mechanical. It has no soul. But when the musician relaxes, when he masters the instrument and forgets himself, something shifts. He stops playing the flute. The flute starts playing him. He becomes an empty bamboo, and the divine breath flows through him, creating a melody of unimaginable beauty. You are that flute, and the divine wants to play the music of abundance through you. But you are too clogged with your own plans, your own desires, your own rigid ideas of how life should be. You are not empty. Empty yourself. Drop your rigid ideas about wealth. You think wealth means a certain house in a certain neighborhood. You think wealth means a certain brand of car. This is the poverty of your imagination. The universe may have something far grander in mind for you, but because you are fixated on your small, ego-driven desires, you block the greater flow. I once heard of a man who prayed to God for 10 years to win the lottery. He was specific. He wanted $10 million. He prayed every day, visualized, affirmed, did all the spiritual techniques. Nothing happened. He grew bitter. He lost his faith. He felt the universe was against him. What he didn't realize was that his intense fixation on the lottery blinded him to the world. He ignored his health. He ignored his family. He ignored his natural talents. He could have built a beautiful business. He could have written a great book. He could have loved his wife deeply. He missed his entire life waiting for a magic ticket. He wanted the universe to fit into his tiny box. Do not put the universe in a box. Open yourself to all avenues of abundance. Wealth can come as money. Wealth can come as vibrant health. Wealth can come as a deep, nourishing friendship. Wealth can come as a moment of absolute silence where you feel connected to the stars. Do not reject the subtle phones of wealth while waiting for the gross phones. Value the sunrise. Value the taste of your morning tea. Value the smile of a stranger. When you start valuing the micro abundances, you tune your frequency to the macro abundance. The person who is ungrateful for the small things will never receive the big things. And even if they do, they will not be able to enjoy them. This is the disease of the modern rich. They have the big things, but they have lost the capacity to enjoy the small things. Their palates are numb. They need bigger and bigger stimulations to feel alive. This is not wealth. This is an addiction. True wealth is sensitivity. It is the capacity to be utterly thrilled by the simplest things in life. When you have this sensitivity, your creativity naturally blooms. And creativity is the ultimate currency. The more creative you are, the richer your life becomes. But creativity is not just about painting or writing poetry. Creativity is an attitude. It is the attitude of bringing freshness to whatever you do. If you are a cook, do not just cook the same meal mechanically. Bring creativity to it. Experiment. Love the ingredients. Treat the vegetables as manifestations of the divine earth. When you cook with this energy, the food becomes medicine, it becomes nectar. People will come from miles away just to taste your food. Money will follow. If you are a shopkeeper, do not just sell goods, create an atmosphere of love in your shop. Greet your customers as if they are divine guests. Make your shop a sanctuary of positive energy. People will buy from you not just for the goods, but for the feeling they get in your presence. Money will follow. This is how the new economy works. The old economy was based on extraction. Extract value from the customer, extract value from the earth, extract value from the worker. The new economy, the spiritual economy, is based on emanation, emanate value, emanate love, emanate beauty. And for this emanation to be pure, you must be deeply grounded in your own truth. This is why the inner work is non-negotiable. If you are ready to make this inner work the foundation of your outer success, I urge you to study the ebooks available in the description. They are designed to align your inner frequency with the laws of existence. They are the user manuals for your soul. Get them, read them, apply them. And as you apply them, you will notice resistance. The ego does not want to change. The ego loves the familiar, even if the familiar is misery. When you start meditating, when you start becoming generous, when you start trusting life, the ego will panic. It will say, "Stop, you are being foolish. People will take advantage of you. You will go bankrupt. Go back to being cynical. Go back to protecting yourself." Recognize this voice. It is the voice of your conditioning. It is not your voice. It is the voice of the dead past. Do not fight it. Just smile at it. Say, "Thank you for sharing your concerns, but I am choosing a new way." It takes courage to choose the new way. It takes the courage of a lion. Society wants you to be a sheep. A sheep is easy to control. A sheep can be sheared. A sheep can be slaughtered. The educational system, the media, the religious institutions, they are all factories for producing sheep. They teach you to be afraid. They teach you to feel guilty. They teach you to look up to the authorities. I am here to tell you, you are a lion. Roar. Wake up from the sleep of the sheep. A lion does not beg. A lion does not live in fear. A lion walks with majesty. The entire jungle respects the lion because the lion respects himself. Respect your own being. You are a masterpiece of existence. There has never been anyone like you, and there will never be anyone like you again. You are absolutely unique. When you respect yourself, you stop compromising. You stop selling your soul for pennies. You stop staying in jobs that crush your spirit. You stop maintaining relationships that drain your energy. You raise your standards, not out of arrogance, but out of self-love. And when you raise your standards, the universe meets you at your new level. If you accept the crumbs, the universe will give you crumbs. If you demand the feast, not with anger, but with the quiet dignity of a king, the universe will spread the table. This transformation from sheep to lion is supported by the collective energy of the people around you. You cannot do it in isolation. You need the Sangha, the community of truth seekers. This is why your participation on this channel is so vital. When you click the join button, you are entering the pride of lions. When you use super thanks, you are practicing the generosity of the king. When you like and share, you are inviting others to wake up from their sleep. Comment below, "I am the lion." Let the algorithms of the internet feel the vibration of your awakening. And as a lion, you move differently in the world. You do not compete with the sheep. You do not fight over the limited grass. The lion has a different domain. In the financial world, the sheep compete on price. They cut their prices, they work longer hours, they undercut each other, racing to the bottom. The lion competes on value. The lion creates something of such unique beauty, such undeniable quality, that price becomes irrelevant. People do not buy from the lion because it is cheap. They buy because it is magnificent. Become magnificent. Invest in your own excellence. Read, meditate, learn new skills, refine your craft, become so good at what you do that you cannot be ignored, but do it without tension. Do it with the joy of a master craftsman. There was once a famous Zen archer. He was the best in the land. A young, ambitious archer came to challenge him. The young man shot 3 arrows into the bullseye. He was very proud. The Zen master did not say a word. He led the young man to a deep gorge. A single flimsy log spanned the chasm. The master walked to the middle of the log, drew his bow, and shot a bird out of the sky. Then he stepped back and said to the young man, "Now it is your turn." The young man looked at the gorge, looked at the flimsy log, and his legs began to shake. He could not even step onto the log. His skill was useless because his mind was possessed by fear. The master said, "You have skill with the bow, but you have no skill with the mind. True mastery is the mastery of the mind. You may have the skills to make money. You may know the stock market, you may know marketing, you may know coding. But if you have no skill with the mind, you are like that young archer. When the crisis comes, when the market crashes, when the gorge opens beneath you, your skills will fail you because your mind will be paralyzed by fear. Develop the mastery of the mind. That is the ultimate insurance. And the mastery of the mind is not about controlling the mind. It is about transcending the mind. It is about stepping back into the awareness that is beyond the mind. When you are beyond the mind, you are beyond fear. You are beyond poverty. You are beyond lack. You become a conduit for the divine flow. I want to remind you of the river. The river flows to the ocean effortlessly. It does not stress. It does not worry if it will reach the destination. It is the nature of the river to reach the ocean. It is your nature to reach abundance. You were born out of abundance. You are made of abundance. You are returning to abundance. The only thing blocking you is your belief in separation. You think you are separate from the source. You think you are an isolated individual fighting for survival in a hostile universe. This is the original sin. This is the only sin, the sin of separation. When you drop this illusion, when you realize your oneness with the whole, the struggle ends. You are the universe. The money in the world is your money. The beauty in the world is your beauty. The joy of the world is your joy. When you see a rich man, do not be jealous. Be happy. It is your wealth manifesting in another form. When you see a beautiful garden, do not covet it. Enjoy it. It is your beauty manifesting in the flowers. This shift from the personal I to the universal we is the quantum leap of consciousness. And in this universal consciousness, giving and receiving become one. When you give to another, you are giving to yourself. When you cheat another, you are cheating yourself. This is not a moral commandment. This is a scientific fact of the energetic universe. So give abundantly, love abundantly, create abundantly. Do not hold back, do not save your best for a future that never comes. Live fully today, Express your love today. Take the risk today. If you fail, beautiful, you have learned. If you succeed, beautiful, you have expanded. There is no failure for the one who lives with totality. Totality is the key. Be total in whatever you do. If you are sad, be totally sad. Cry. Let the tears wash your eyes. Do not suppress it. If you are angry, be totally angry. Go to the forest and chop wood. Let the energy move. And if you are working for your wealth, be total. Put your whole heart into it. When you are total, there is no split inside you. And where there is no split, there is immense power. The divided mind is weak. Should I do this? Should I do that? What if I fail? What if people laugh? This chatter drains your energy. Drop the chatter. Make a decision and put your whole being behind it. If it is the wrong decision, the universe will correct you quickly. But if you stand on the fence, hesitating, you rot. Movement is life. Stagnation is death. Move, act, create, and always, always stay anchored in your inner silence. This is the dance of Zorba the Buddha. Action on the outside, silence on the inside, passion on the outside, peace on the inside. To help you maintain this delicate and powerful balance, the ebooks in the description have been curated. They are the guidebooks for the new human, the Zorba the Buddha. Equip yourself with this knowledge, and as you integrate this wisdom, let your gratitude flow. Hit the join button, use the super thanks, like this video, subscribe, share it with the world. Your active participation is what grounds this energy into the physical dimension. We are not just talking about philosophy here, we are talking about changing the very fabric of your reality. We are talking about breaking the chains of generations. You are the one your ancestors have been waiting for. You are the one who can break the cycle of poverty and fear. Do it, not just for yourself, but for the whole. When you become wealthy, consciously wealthy, you become a blessing to the world. You can fund the orphanages. You can plant the forests. You can support the artists. You can build the meditation centers. The world needs conscious money. The world needs spiritual billionaires. Do not shy away from this calling. Embrace it, claim it, be it. I am not telling you this to give you hope. Hope is the opium of the future. I am telling you this to give you reality. This is the reality of your being. You are infinite. You are powerful. You are abundant. Just open your eyes. Drop the fear. Drop the guilt. Open your hands. The universe is raining gold. Will you catch it? Or will you keep your umbrella up, protecting yourself from the blessings of life? Close the umbrella of the ego. Get drenched in the rain of abundance. It is your birthright, and it starts the moment you say yes. Say yes to life. Say yes to abundance. Say yes to yourself. Say yes to yourself. And in that ultimate yes, the entire universe bows down to you. Yes is the most powerful prayer in existence. It is the master key that unlocks every door that fear has slammed shut. When you say no to life, when you say no to your desires, when you say no to your worth, you contract. No is the language of the ego. The ego is always saying no. No to the present moment, no to the circumstances, no to the people around you, no to the flow. The ego thrives on negativity because negativity creates separation, and the ego needs separation to survive. But the soul, your true nature, knows only one word, yes. Yes to the rain, yes to the sun, yes to the arrival of wealth, and yes to the departure of wealth, yes to the mountain peak, and yes to the dark valley. When you become a total yes, you become vast, you become like the sky. The sky says yes to the thunderstorm, it says yes to the rainbow, it says yes to the flock of birds, and it says yes to the airplane. It accepts everything, contains everything, and remains untouched by anything. This is the consciousness of true abundance. It is an all-inclusive acceptance of life. You have been trying to select the parts of life you want and reject the parts you don't. You say, I want the money, but I don't want the responsibility. I want the success, but I don't want the risk. I want the love, but I don't want the vulnerability. This picking and choosing is the root of your misery. Life does not come in fragments. Life is a package deal. You cannot have the rose without the thorns. If you reject the thorns, you have to reject the rose. Accept the thorns. In fact, love the thorns. They are the protectors of the rose. Love the risks. Love the uncertainties. They are the protectors of your growth. Without uncertainty, you would be a machine. You would be dead. Uncertainty means freedom. Uncertainty means tomorrow is an open sky. When you say yes to the totality of life, the struggle for money simply evaporates. It does not mean you stop working. On the contrary, your work becomes a dance. It does not mean you stop planning, but your plans become playful blueprints, not rigid cages. You move through the marketplace with the lightness of step, a twinkle in your eye, and a deep, unshakable peace in your heart. And from this space of deep peace, I want you to look back at your past. Look at all the financial mistakes you think you made, the bad investments, the missed opportunities, the jobs you quit, the times you lost everything. Your mind tortures you with these memories. If only I had bought that stock. If only I hadn't trusted that person. Drop the if only. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself totally. You acted out of the level of consciousness you had at that time. You were asleep. Can you blame a sleepwalker for tripping over the furniture? No. It was the lack of awareness that caused the mistake, not you. The person who made those mistakes is dead. That person is in the past. You are here now, awake. Use those past failures as fertilizer. They were not punishments. They were preparations. The universe had to break down your arrogance so you could learn humility. The universe had to empty your pockets so you could learn that your real value is not in your pockets. The universe had to show you the futility of chasing shadows so you could finally turn towards the light. Bless your past, bow down to your failures. They were your greatest gurus. When you forgive your past, you reclaim the energy that was trapped in regret. That energy becomes available to you now. It becomes the fuel for your new creation. And as you create, you will need to master not just the art of receiving, but the art of spending. People are terrified of spending. Even when they have money, they spend it with a heavy heart. They look at the price tag and feel a pinch of pain. This is the poverty mentality. When you spend money, do not feel that you are losing something. Feel that you are participating in the grand circulation of the cosmos. Feel the joy of the person receiving the money. When you buy groceries, bless the money. Realize that this money will go to the farmer who grew the food, to the truck driver who transported it, to the cashier who scanned it. Your money is feeding hundreds of families. You are a benefactor of the human race. Spend like an emperor And by that I do not mean spend recklessly or buy things you cannot afford. That is foolishness. I mean spend with the attitude of an emperor. Whether you are buying a private jet or a cup of tea, the attitude should be the same. Pay with a smile, pay with gratitude, say silently to the money as it leaves your hand, go serve the world and return to me multiplied, bringing your friends with you. Money loves this playfulness. Money is an energy that responds to love. If you hoard it with fear, it suffocates. If you spend it with fear, it carries that negative charge. But if you circulate it with love, it becomes a healing force in the world. This is what I call conscious wealth. It is not enough to be rich. Any fool can be rich. You just need to be greedy enough, cunning enough, and blind enough to the suffering of others, and you can accumulate wealth. The world is full of rich fools. They are the most miserable people on earth. They live behind high walls, surrounded by security guards, terrified of their own shadows. They cannot trust anyone. They think everyone is after their money. Their wealth has become their prison. Do not become a rich fool. Become a wealthy master. The wealthy master uses money to dissolve walls, not build them. The wealthy master uses money to create bridges, to heal wounds, to spread consciousness. And to reach this state, you must constantly feed your mind with the right nutrients. The collective mind is constantly bombarding you with fear. Turn on the television, and what do you see? Crisis, lack, war, impending doom. This is the diet of the masses. If you consume this diet, you will become sick. You must guard the gates of your mind, filter what enters your consciousness. This is the ultimate purpose of our Sangha, this digital community we are building. This channel is not an entertainment channel. It is an energy field. It is an oasis in the desert of the unconscious world. When you click the join button and become a member, you are not just getting access to a badge or exclusive content. You are making a declaration to your own subconscious. You are saying, I choose to invest in my evolution. I choose to align myself with the frequency of abundance. I am part of the new earth. Membership is an act of spiritual alignment. When you use the super thanks feature, you are not tipping a creator. You are demonstrating to the universe that you are a fountain, not a drain. A drain only takes a fountain overflows. By giving from your overflow, you signal to the quantum field that you have more than enough. And the quantum field, which is a perfect mirror, says, you have more than enough. Here, have some more. It is the ultimate spiritual technology. And for those of you who want to turn this inspiration into a permanent state of being, the ebooks available in the description are your essential guides. Inspiration is like a shower. It feels good, it cleans you, but you get dirty again. You need daily practice. You need the deep philosophical roots to anchor you when the winds of the world blow hard. These ebooks contain the meditation techniques, the paradigm shifts, and the energetic secrets of the masters. They are your shield and your sword. Download them, study them, make them your daily companions. I also want you to share this message. The algorithm of the internet is a reflection of the human mind. It promotes fear, gossip, and distraction because that is what the unconscious mind craves. But we can change the algorithm. We can inject light into the digital stream by liking this video, by leaving a meaningful comment, by sharing it with your friends, your family, your WhatsApp groups. You are becoming a worker of the light. You are spreading the cure. Imagine someone who is on the verge of bankruptcy, someone who is contemplating suicide because of financial despair, coming across this video because you shared it. You could save a life, you could save a soul. Do not underestimate the power of your share. Comment below. Let the comment section be a tapestry of our collective awakening. Write, I am the master of my energy, because that is the ultimate truth. You are the master of your energy. Money is just one form of energy. When you master your own internal energy, the external forms of energy naturally bow to you. I want you to see the illusion of the chase. You have been chasing money like a thirsty man chasing a mirage in the desert. The mirage looks like water. You run towards it and it recedes. You run faster and it recedes faster. You die of thirst, chasing an optical illusion. Money pursued for the sake of money is a mirage. It promises happiness, but it delivers emptiness. It promises security, but it delivers anxiety. Stop chasing the mirage. Stop running. Sit down in the desert. When you sit down, when you stop the frantic movement of the mind, you discover something miraculous. You discover that you are sitting on an oasis. The water of life was always inside you. The joy was always inside you. The peace was always inside you. Drink from your own inner well. Satisfy your soul's thirst with meditation, with love, with creativity. And when you are fully satisfied, when you are drunk on the divine, you will look up and see that the mirage has disappeared and real money, real opportunities, real people are walking towards you. Why? Because you are no longer desperate. You are a center of gravity. Money comes most easily to those who are not desperate for it. This is the grand paradox. The one who wants it the most pushes it away. The one who doesn't need it at all attracts it effortlessly. Become the one who doesn't need it. I am not telling you to renounce your possessions. I am telling you to renounce your need for them. Possess the world, but do not let the world possess you. Live like Zorba the Buddha. Zorba is the ultimate lover of life. He drinks the wine. He dances on the beach. He makes love to the earth. He does not deny the body. He celebrates the senses. The Buddha is the ultimate lover of silence. He sits under the Bodhi tree, unmoving, watching his breath merged with the infinite. He does not deny the soul. He celebrates the spirit. For centuries, humanity was divided. The religious people chose the Buddha and became poor, starving, and anti-life. The materialistic people chose Zorba and became rich, hollow, and spiritually dead. I bring you the synthesis. Be both. Have the immense wealth of Zorba and the immense peace of the Buddha. Drive your Mercedes to your meditation retreat. Live in a palace and sit in silence. Wear silk and have the heart of a monk. There is no contradiction. Matter and spirit are the two ends of the same spectrum. Matter is visible spirit. Spirit is invisible matter. God is the creator and the world is the creation. How can you love the creator and hate the creation? How can you love the dancer and hate the dance? Love the dance. Love the marketplace. Make your business your meditation. When you negotiate a deal, be fully present. Let truth be your business model. Let love be your marketing strategy. Let consciousness be your currency. When you do business this way, you heal the world. The world is suffering not from a lack of money, but from a lack of consciousness. There are enough resources on this planet to feed every human being, to house every family, to give a beautiful life to everyone. Poverty is a man-made disease. It is the result of the greed of the ego. When the ego drops, greed drops. When greed drops, sharing arises. You are the vanguard of this new humanity. You who are listening to this, you are not average. The average person clicked away from this video a long time ago. The average person wants a get-rich-quick scheme. You stayed because your soul recognizes the truth. You stayed because you are ready for the ultimate transformation. I honor the divine light in you. You have all the power of the universe inside your heart. Do not play small, do not shrink to fit into the expectations of a mad society. Expand, radiate, overflow, and remember the core of our journey together. Money is shy. It does not follow the one who begs. It follows the one who is still. When you stop chasing, it starts coming. When you stop craving, it starts serving. Drop the craving. Embrace the stillness. Move with grace, not with greed. When your energy is relaxed, existence begins to serve you. Existence is waiting to serve you. It is waiting to lay the treasures of the cosmos at your feet. It has only been waiting for you to stop fighting, to stop resisting, to stop trying to do it all by your little exhausted ego. Surrender. Surrender does not mean defeat. Surrender means victory over the ego. Surrender means joining forces with the infinite. So let go. Let go of the past. Let go of the fear. Let go of the guilt. Breathe in the vastness of the universe. Breathe out your limitations. You are free. You have always been free. Go out into the world today and walk like a master. Smile at the strangers. Bless your work. Celebrate your existence. And as you celebrate, the shadow of abundance will quietly, effortlessly fall upon your path. If this journey has awakened the sleeping giant within you, if you are ready to claim your birthright of infinite wealth and absolute peace, let us seal this energy together. Click that join button, become a permanent resident of the kingdom of consciousness. Express your overflowing abundance through super thanks. Prove to yourself that you are the fountain. Secure your daily anchors of truth by getting the ebooks in the description. Subscribe, like, and share. Be the ripple that changes the ocean. Leave your final declaration in the comments. I am Zorba the Buddha. I am the flow. My blessings are with you. The universe is with you. Live richly. Live peacefully. Live totally. Goodbye for now, my beloved ones. Until we meet again in the silence.